Hello, everybody, and welcome to our watch along for the Dutch Grand Prix. As I said in my Instagram story, and I quote, live for what will probably be a rubbish race, but I need company so I don't suffer alone. Please, please help me. So, yes, we are about 30 minutes away from the start of the Dutch Grand Prix. I've got loads and loads of little stats and tidbits here for you guys. If you wonder what I've been doing this morning, I got up at about 9 o'clock to watch F1 Academy. It was a decent race. Good to see Rachel Robertson getting some more points on the board. She's almost in the top 10 of the standings now, which is really good for her rookie season. Next year, if she's backed by a team, which I think she will be, I think she can be a championship challenger. Actually, maybe not, because Kiara Batig is gonna run away with it. I always said Batig. I could be wrong on that. She's got the umlaut in her name, so I pronounced it differently because my name's got an umlaut in it. But anyway, we have got the drivers' constructor standings, the starting grid, the active race winners at the circuit, and of course the layout of Zandvoort on our screen. This is going to be the last Dutch Grand Prix up until the foreseeable future, unfortunately. Mercedes currently lead the championship by 76 points. They extended their gap yesterday in the sprint. Of course, George Russell took victory, Kimi Antonelli finishing in 4th. Of course, Charles Leclerc finished 2nd, Lewis Hamilton finished 7th, so Mercedes picked up more points than Ferrari did. McLaren had a good day yesterday as well, finishing in 3rd and 5th, so good points on the board for them. And they'll be looking to have a good race today because, of course, Lando Norris is starting on pole position, as you can see right over here. Oscar Piastri P4, not a great qualifying session for Ferrari or for Red Bull. Of course, they're looking to have strong weekends. They are two teams that have been very successful here over the years. I put in the description of the video, will it be a second win of the season for Lando Norris and a second win at Zandvoort for him? Of course, he won there in 2024. Or will it be Mercedes' first win at the track in 71 years? Mercedes haven't won a Grand Prix at Zandvoort since 1955, when Juan Manuel Fangio won the Dutch Grand Prix for them. That was his only win at the circuit as well, which is quite mad to think about, considering he is a Formula One legend. What does this say? It says that I've got a suggestion here from YouTube Studio. I don't know what this is all about. It's higher than the recommended rate. We recommend... Hang on a sec. What does this say? We recommend you use a stream bit of 750. Okay, I'll see if I can do that. If it's recommending that, then I'll go with it, because it's probably recommending that for a reason. Wait, hang on a second. What did it say again? Hang on. Trying to get into YouTube Studio here. Give me a minute, guys. I'm trying to figure this out because it was recommending I do something with the stream rate. I don't know. I don't understand this stuff. I'm not technologically that good. I'm not as good as a lot of other people are. So let's see. I'm trying to see what it says here. Hang on, I'll go and add that to the live streams collection. There we go. I'll see if I can open it up in here. What does it say? Right. Okay, so it's the bit rate, and it's saying to use 7. That is a massive drop, though. I'm going from 10,000 to 750. What's that going to look like? Hang on a sec. I want to see, how bad is this going to look? This is probably going to run ridiculously slow. Hang on a second. I want to see, how bad is it going to be? Let's see how bad it is now. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna wait and see how bad it is. It's probably gonna be ridiculously bad, isn't it? It's not that bad, actually. I don't really notice a difference, to be honest. Right. Trying to see if I can get... If it keeps coming up with like little suggestions. I don't know what this is all about. I'm not really a fan of this, to be honest. What is it saying? Stream's current bitrate is higher than recommended rate. But I've turned it down! I've turned it down! The stream's bitrate should be at 750 now. Surely not. I swear, did I not do that? Hang on a second. Oh no, I put video bitrate on. Okay, right. I don't know if that's stream bitrate. Hang on a second, I'll put this back to 10,000 then, because that was what it was at before. How can I change that? I don't know if I can even change that. Like, I don't think I can change that, so I'm just gonna not bother with it. Right, so yeah, we've got 27 minutes until the Grand Prix starts. As I'm saying, Mercedes haven't won here since 1955. Looks as though it's going to be a dry race, although, and it does look quite sunny, to be fair. Lewis Hamilton's got his sunglasses on, getting interviewed on the grid by Naomi Schiff. But yeah, this is going to be the last race at Zandvoort until the foreseeable future. Of course, the race came back because of Max Verstappen's popularity, and that obviously coincided with his championship win in 2021, where he won the first 3 editions of the race, and then since then, McLaren have won the other 2, as you can see right here. Max Verstappen with 3 wins, Oscar Piastri with 1, Lando Norris with 1 as well. Oscar Piastri, the most recent in 2025, he's the defending race winner. Of course, that was after Lando Norris had his engine failure, which very nearly cost him the World Drivers' Championship last year. In the driver's standings, Kimi Antonelli has a 53-point lead over Lewis Hamilton. George Russell only 2 points back from his former teammate at Mercedes. Charles Leclerc a little bit further adrift in 4th, 145 points. Then we got Lando Norris on 134 and Max Verstappen on 112. Of course, Yuki Tsunoda will be racing this weekend, so can he get himself onto that points list? I suppose we'll find out, but he's starting in 12th behind his former teammate Pierre Gasly, and directly in front of him is his new teammate for one race, Arvid Lindblad. And then 2 rows in front of him is Liam Lawson, who was his teammate at Racing Bulls last year. So, sorry, not last year, 2024. Last part of 2024, they were teammates at Racing Bulls. So I mean, Yuki's been teammates with about a quarter of the grid. That's mad. How many drivers has Max been teammate with on the grid? I'm trying to see. He was teammates with Sainz. He was teammates with Albon. He was teammates with Tsunoda. He was teammates with Lawson and Gasly. That's 5 drivers, a quarter of the grid. Wow, a quarter of the drivers that Max Verstappen has been teammates with. A quarter of the grid, sorry, has been drivers that Max Verstappen's raced with. That's mad. Almost a quarter. I forgot we've got 22 now. Oh yeah, Perez as well. So that's 6 actually. That's mental, and that's all because all of them are at Red Bull, apart from Sainz, who he was teammates with at Toro Rosso in 2015. But as you can see here, bottom right, we've got the race distance, 2.6 miles, 14 turns, as you can see right over here. And the most wins at the track is Jim Clark, and that's going to remain so even if Max Verstappen wins today. Because as you can see right here, Max Verstappen has 3 wins at Zandvoort, whereas Clark has 4. There's been 35 Grand Prix held at Zandvoort over the years, some very, very notable ones over the years. I think of 1971 when Jackie Ickx and Pedro Rodriguez battled for the race win, with Ickx in the end coming out on top. It was a wet weather race, and they ended up lapping the whole field apart from Clay Regazzoni. That was a phenomenal battle between those two, as the history books say. And then a few years after that, in 1975, James Hunt took his first Grand Prix win at the track, beating Niki Lauda, who later would win the last Dutch Grand Prix for 36 years in 1985. That 1975 win for Hunt was also the only win for the Hesketh team. 1978 saw Mario Andretti take his last Grand Prix win. 1982 saw Didier Pironi take his last Grand Prix victory, the last of 3. He, of course, got one in 1980 with Tyrrell, and then one in 1980, 2 in 1982, one in San Marino, and one in the Netherlands. We're looking at the radar, and it does look like there's going to be a shower. Oh, we might actually be in for a good race today, guys. I'm going to click the record button. Right, I'm recording this now, just because it looks like it's going to rain. So we're going to have an interesting race, hopefully. Nico Rosberg is saying he's going to go for a run. I'm trying, did Nico ever race at Zandvoort in anything? Because obviously his father did. I'm pretty sure his father got a podium there in 1982. Did Nico Rosberg ever race at Zandvoort? I want to check that. Let's have a little look. He did Masters of Formula 3 in 2003 and 2004. He didn't finish in 2003, and he finished 6th in 2004. And it was Alexandre Prima that won that. Wow. It was Prima who won that ahead of a guy called Eric Salignon. I've never heard of him before. Adam Carroll finished 3rd. Wow. The Northern Irishman. Then James Rossiter was 4th. That's a throwback name. Lucas Degrassi 5th. Nico Rosberg 6th. Lewis Hamilton 7th. Nelson Piquet Jr. 8th. And Jamie Green 9th. Who else was in this field that's recognizable? Fairez Fawzi, yeah, used to be a test driver. Maximilian Goetz was in this race. Wow. Nicolas Lapierre, Bruno Spengler. Who else is in this? Adrian Sutil. Is he related to Pipo Derani? Frederick Vasseur getting interviewed by Nico Rosberg, who of course, did Nico used to race for him at ART? Yeah, in GP2 he did. Of course, Frederick Vasseur is was the team principal of ART for many years, and then of course he became a Formula 1 team principal, and unlike Ollie Oakes, he made the step up and he was able to be successful. I want to see how successful was Keke Rosberg at Zandvoort. Did he ever win around there? I don't think he did. I don't remember him winning around Zandvoort. Because almost all of his wins were on street races, apart from Switzerland, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Keke Rosberg is probably like one of the greatest like Formula 1 street racers of all time. He won on 4 street tracks. 4 of his 5 wins were on street tracks. It's mental. Did he ever get... Yeah, I was right. He did get a podium at Zandvoort in 1982. I'm trying to remember who finished 2nd in that race. Because I know Peroni won it. I'm trying to think, was it a Renault? Was it John Watson that was 2nd? Oh, it was Piquet. It was Piquet that was 2nd in that race, right. And then I'm trying to see, did he get any other podiums at Zandvoort? But I don't think he did. No, he was never really that successful there. He only got 1... Did he only get 1 points finish at Zandvoort in his entire F1 career? Hang on a second. No points, no points, no points. 1 podium. Wow. Keke Rosberg only had 1 points finish at Zandvoort in his entire F1 career. He got a 3rd place there in 1982. That was it. They're currently on the grid. Still got another 19 minutes until the Grand Prix starts. I think we're going to see a lot of variable weather in this race. Being that, of course, the radar isn't looking too healthy for a dry race anyway. I think we're going to have a very interesting race here, to be fair. I said on my story, I'm going to suffer. I don't know if I am. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because hope kills you. Hope absolutely kills and destroys you. But, I mean, we had a wet race in Zandvoort in 2023. It was quite good. A lot of overtakes. I think it was, 189 overtakes? A lot of overtakes, a lot of really, really good racing. One of the best wet races probably in modern F1 history anyway. I'm trying to see if it says how many overtakes that there was. I'll go and Google it. How many overtakes were in Netherlands 2023? I feel like I remember... Oh, it was 188. I was 1 off. That is mental. I was 1 away. I said 189 and it was 188. I was 1 off. 1. 2024 had 43 overtakes. And that was a record amount of overtakes. So I hope we're going to get something like that today. And interesting, so that day, you had 3 different drivers from 3 different teams, 3 different nationalities, 3 different engines in the top 3. And it was Verstappen, Alonso, and Gasly. All of whom are on the grid today with the same teams that they were in 2023. In fact, I think the only other drivers who were at the same team then that they are now. Technically, Yuki Tsunoda, although he's obviously not full-time, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, Oscar Piastri, and Lando Norris. Pretty much every other, and Pierre Gasly. Is that Lucas Podolski? Lucas! Oh, I love Lucas Podolski. I love Lucas Podolski, football legend. I love that man. 2014 World Cup winner with Germany. Anybody who was in that squad has my heart in some kind of way. Footballing legend. It's a shame he played for Arsenal, but I love this man. I love this man so much. Although, to be fair, he didn't contribute a great deal to the 2014 World Cup squad. It was, when I think of 2014 World Cup, I think of Andre Schürrle, Thomas Muller, Toni Kroos, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Philipp Lahm, and Miroslav Klose, and Mesut Ozil. They're like the main guys. And Mario Götze, of course, who scored the winning goal in the final. But I bet Nico's buzzing to see him, because obviously Nico's born and raised in Germany. Verstappen got 2 words. Sky got 2 words from Verstappen, which is probably more than usual, to be fair. To be fair, right, I'd rather watch F1 than IndyCar, because at least F1's not racing in the capital of the US and this whole Freedom 250 thing. I might give my opinion on that in the podcast, which is going to return this week, guys. It's been a while, but... Oh, that surface looks wet. That's what she said. That surface does not look dry at all. So this is gonna make for an interesting race, hopefully. They're gonna play the national anthem. I've heard this too many times over the years. Whenever I hear the Dutch national anthem, I just get PTSD to 2023. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore, man. I can't do this anymore. In the meantime, I'm going to have a look and see a list of winners at the Circuit Zandvoort. Let's see. So, Dutch Grand Prix. Let's see. By year. Right. So, we've got... To be fair, right, there was only really 2 years where Fangio could actually compete in a competitive car. And that was 1953, 1955. When I was talking earlier about Fangio and him winning races at Zandvoort, he only won 1. Jim Clark, though, man, he went... Jack Brabham had to go and ruin Clark's win-in run. Although, to be fair, Clark was in an absolute crap car in 1966. And then, honestly, Clark would have won 1968 if he hadn't got killed at Hockenheim. He would have won 68, I think. But yeah, Lotus are pretty successful around here as a team. They have the second most wins around the Zandvoort circuit. Only one with more is Ferrari, and even then you can take away one of them because it was in F2 cars. I mean, wait a minute, it was 953 had F2 cars as well, didn't they? Wait a minute, so technically, if we're talking pure Formula 1 cars, Lotus and Ferrari have the same amount of wins around Zandvoort. However, we include 52 and 53 because it was a Formula 1 World Championship, even though it was in F2 cars. Honestly, you can just question the entirety of 1952 and 1953's existence because of that. But it's crazy, from 1958 to 1985, the Dutch Grand Prix was on every year except 1972, which was because in 1970, Piers Courage had been killed in an accident and they'd wanted to update the track conditions. And what is deeply and tragically ironic, the following year they came back and another driver got killed in Roger Williamson. Literally a year after they were like, okay, we're going to do repairs to the circuit and update the conditions of it, the circuit conditions. They went and did that, and it was still absolutely dangerous and terrible. Although, to be fair, it was more so the cars than the Zandvoort circuit itself, to be fair, and also just how bad Formula 1 safety was generally with marshals and things like that. But look at them all. They're all waving their blue, white, and red flags for Max Verstappen. A lot of blue, white, red, and orange here, really. And I don't think the orange is for McLaren, personally, although I could be wrong on that. I feel bad for Max, man. He doesn't even have a home race. He's not even going to have a home race next year, because Belgium's not on the calendar either. Like, he went from having 2 home races to having none. Like, this must have been how... this must have been how the Germans felt. This must be how the Germans... I mean, to be fair, I'm cognizant enough to say, you know, in 2020... I was absolutely gutted that Germany was gone. I don't know if I'll be able to find an old video of mine where I'm like, it sucks that Hockenheim's not on the calendar anymore as a German person, but yeah, I mean, I don't have a home race because I'm not British. I'm Scottish, and then I'm Irish, and then I'm German. I'm not British in any way, shape, or form. So I don't have a home race. I now I know how it feels to be every country in Africa, most countries in the Americas, half the countries most of the countries in Europe, and only a couple of the countries in the Middle East. um, Oscar. No, sorry, not Lando. Lando didn't even know if it was going to be wet or dry before he got in his car. That's mental. Natalie Fig was like, "Oh, it looks like Nico's a bit nervous there." Not Nico. Lando was a bit nervous there. Yeah, yeah. I think most of them are. I think the only driver who's really like calm is Max, and the reason why is because he's like, yeah, I'm in a rubbish car, I'm at my home race, I'm not nervous, I'm just angry, and he's just like, I'm just gonna use my anger. Um, but you know what's really annoying? We could have had a completely 2x2 grid in the first 4 rows if Lando Norris had been a good sport and qualified third instead of first. Um, I have to say, Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson have done great jobs. Liam Lawson's been outstanding this weekend. However, I do think I was looking at the Q2 to Q3 times, and in Q2, almost all the drivers were half a second slower than they were in Q3, out of the guys who were in Q3, and Max only gained 2 tenths. I think if Max had gotten an optimal lap, he probably could have been fourth on the grid, which is quite crazy to think about. But that's probably why Lawson was so close to him, because Max didn't gain in Q3. In fact, I'll get the uh qualifying results up now. Give me a second, guys. I'll go and get them up right now. I'll change that to a 6 and then there. Right, because you'll see here, React, there we go. Hang on a second, get the window capture. There we go. Right, so here it is. So you can see here, Lando gained half a second, George gained 7 tenths, Kimi gained 7 tenths, Oscar only gained 3 tenths, which is quite interesting. He probably went too quick too soon, to be fair. Lewis gained half a second, Charles gained 4 tenths, and then you can see there Max only gained 2 tenths of a second. Lawson gained 6 tenths almost. No, he did gain 6 tenths. Bortoletto gained 4 tenths, and then Lindblad gained 4 as well. So really, Max was absolutely rubbish in qualifying in Q3 anyway, because he only gained 2 tenths in Q3 from Q2. Oscar didn't have a good qualifying either, technically, if you look at it like that. Although, they might have had issues on their laps. I can't remember too well. I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I missed Q1 because I was busy watching Boondocks. Genuinely, I was busy watching Boondocks, and I completely was like fixated on it that I forgot that F1 qualifying was on, and I was like, wait a second, F1 quali, and by the time I clicked on it was the start of Q2, and I was like, and I had to go into the live data website to see, okay, who got knocked out. I saw Albon in Q2, and I was like, huh? What is brother doing in Q2? I'm trying to see, where is it? There we go. I'm getting the F1 live data on, and I want it to be about 60 seconds behind, because that's pretty much how far behind I am on the website. So yes, trying to see if there's anything else I can really talk about before the next 7 minutes. Predictions, right? I'm gonna say, I said Lando would win the sprint yesterday, and I did not get that right at all. I think George is gonna win the main race ahead of Lando and Kimi. I think Russell's gonna pip Lando. Although if it rains, do you know what? If it rains, do you know how I'm gonna say gets a podium? I'm gonna say Gasly gets a podium, or Ocon, one of the two, because for some reason Gasly and Ocon somehow managed to get podium finishes in the wet. Like, it's really weird. I don't know how they do it. It's like some voodoo of sorts. Don't count out Hamilton either. Also, one of the last times we had a wet race, Nico Hulkenberg got a podium. Hang on a second. Sorry, I was just having to put some air into my juice because I was pouring the bottle and it was like, it was going. Anyway, Ferrari have 8 wins around here, the last of which was in 1983, and that was with Rene Arnoux. And 1982 was with Didier Pironi. So Ferrari's last 2 wins at Zandvoort were with French-speaking drivers. In fact, did Gilles Villeneuve ever win around Zandvoort? I don't think he did, but I'm gonna check because in 1979 wasn't that the year he had the whole puncture, or was that 1981? I'm trying to remember. How many times has there been a French guy that's won for French-speaking guy that's won for Ferrari? Lauda won there twice. For Ferrari, he won there 3 times overall. Pironi and Arnoux won it. Ickx won it, so that's 3 French-speaking drivers. Wow, that's mental. 3 French-speaking drivers have won the Dutch Grand Prix for Ferrari. That's quite crazy. Jackie Ickx in 1971, Didier Pironi in 1982, and Rene Arnoux in 1983. And then some of the notable guys who've won around here over the years, in championship winning years. You got Ascari in 52 and 53, Fangio in 55, Jack Brabham in 1960, Grim Hill in 1962, Jim Clark in 63 and 65, Jack Brabham again in 66, Jackie Stewart won there in 1969 when he won the title, so did Jochen Rindt in 70, Stewart again in 73, James Hunt won there in 1976 when he won the championship, so did Niki Lauda in 78, and Andretti in 77, Lauda won it in 78, Andretti won it. And then the last one after that was, that's crazy. The last 7 Dutch Grand Prix were won by drivers who didn't win the championship the year that they won it. That's crazy. The last 7, because in 1979, Alan Jones won it, and Jody Scheckter won the title that year. 1980, Piquet won it, and it was Jones that won the title that year. 81, Prost won it. I think that was his first Grand Prix win, or was it France 81 that was his first win? It was France 81 that was his first win. In 1981, Piquet won it. Then in 1982, Pironi won the race, and he would have won the championship. I did a short on this. Pironi would have won the championship in 1982, Didier Pironi, if he hadn't had an accident. 83, Rene Arnoux won the race, and he finished 3rd in the standings. Piquet won it. And then it's funny because the last 2, Lauda and Prost won it in 84, Lauda won it in 85, and it was the other that won the title. So Lauda won it in 84, Prost won it in 85. And then since then, every driver that has won the race, each time Max Verstappen won it, he went on to win the championship. And then the last 2 times, it's been a McLaren who hasn't won the championship. Alright, we've got the intro. Valtteri Bottas. Colapinto, Gasly, yeah, the intro. I love how, the reason why I did that on the thumbnail is because that's what Kimi does in the intro. He goes like that. And I'm like, oh my god, that's so... It's funny that they get them in there for like 4 or 5 hours doing all sorts of different poses. It must be so mentally draining for them. Yuki! Sorry. Cutie Patootie Yuki, as I call him. But they're in here for several hours, right? And the best they could get for Kimi was this. Really? That was really the best that they could get? That sucks. That's the best that they could get for Kimi Antonelli. They couldn't get him doing like some sort of aura farm where he's like this. Sorry, that looked really weird. But we're here for the Dutch Grand Prix. They're going through the intro. Round, what's this, 13 is it of the season? I'm trying to figure this out. Is it round 13? Round 12, I was close. I just realised Monza's coming up next weekend, isn't it? Or is it the weekend after? It's the weekend after. Oh yeah, because Monza's always around my birthday. And I remember my 12th birthday was when Charles Leclerc won the Italian Grand Prix. And the day I was born, Fernando Alonso got pole for the Italian Grand Prix in 2007. And then the following day he went on to win. He still didn't win the championship that year, of course. But anyway, so they're looking at the compounds. And unfortunately, we haven't got the softest set. It's the second softest. So that means that tire wear probably won't be as bad. Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day, right? I was thinking about this earlier. And I'm gonna I'm gonna put an unpopular opinion here, and I got this opinion after seeing comments about the TV direction, and I noticed this as well during the sprint. They weren't really showing like Alonso overtaking a few cars at the back. I think F1 should give points to every driver because then they've actually got, first of all, they've got more of a reason to go for it. Second of all, because then battles for 15th are actually important. And also because then championship margins can be even closer. So I would propose that they do an IndyCar or a NASCAR format for the points, right? And then not only that, you'd actually get more American audiences in that way as well. Like, they're wanting to get American audiences in, and they're already killing the sport by adding 3 American races, which I mean, the only time that happened in F1 history before 2024 was 1982, which is mental, and that was Long Beach, Caesars Palace, and Detroit. And I'm like, well, if you've done that, you might as well just change the point system while you're at it. Get a point for pole, get a point for fastest lap, get a point for most laps led, get 2 points for most laps led, get a point for leading a lap, you know, like whatever it is that NASCAR and IndyCar do, you know. But they're going through the grid at the moment. You can already see that on your screen right here. Lando Norris on pole, George Russell second, Kimi Antonelli third, then Piastri, Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen, Lawson, Bortoleto, and Lindblad makes up the top 10. Then Gasly, Tsunoda, who's obviously in the Racing Bull for one race, is in 12th. Then it's Hulkenberg 13th, Colapinto 14th, Ocon, Albon, Sainz, Alonso, Stroll, Behrman, and then the last row is the Cadillacs of Bottas and Perez, who will just be hoping to finish this race, to be fair. It says that the conditions are cloudy, moderate track temperature, high humidity, and winds of 8.2 kilometers an hour, which is probably, what, like 6.5 miles? Hang on a second. I said 6.5, is it? Oh, no, it's 5. I've got that well wrong. I'm terrible at my metric system, guys. I didn't do well in math at school. I did dumbed down maths. Applications of maths. Still, I got an A and a B in it. So actually, I did a B in Nat 5 and an A in higher, which is basically like first and second year exams. And I never actually did 6th year at school, guys. I did a year at college instead, and as a result, I'm going into my 3rd year of uni, even though I should only be going into my 2nd. So I ultimately won it in the end. Getting up at 5 a.m. 2 days a week paid off after all. Plus, being in university a year earlier means a year earlier than I would be, or being a year above where I would be, means that I've got more time to get a job and everything like that, or sort of less time to get a job, I suppose. But I've got, you know, I'm out of education quicker. Right, so that's 2 o'clock. I'm about a minute behind because it's 2:01 now on my clock on the computer. So I'm gonna get the track map up. There we go. Right, so we are not far away from the start. They just got the formation lap underway. Now the key thing for these guys is gonna be, how do they get off the grid? Because at the end of the day, whoever's in the lead in turn 1, whoever's ahead in turn 1 usually ends up winning the race. We've got a few different strategies there. They're going to get thrown out the window because of the wet weather. They said about 30 minutes time. Now, if I had to estimate when that is, the lap times here are around about 1 minute 15s to 1 minute 20s. So that would be, let me think, so 3 laps would be 4 minutes. So that would ultimately be after, I'm trying to do some math in my head. So 4 times 7, so it'd be 17. After about 20 laps, we're probably going to get rain. I've estimated it in my head, and it's about 20 laps, I think. Because that's what I figured out in my head. So after about 20 laps, there's probably going to be rain. So the first 20 laps are probably going to be an absolute procession. But after that, it might actually get interesting. Now, if you guys want to know a bit about the corner names before we get underway, there's some really, really interesting corner names. So there's a few that are named after racing drivers. So, for example, Slotemaker Bocht is named after Rob Slotemaker, who was a racing driver. I think, wasn't he born in Indonesia or Singapore, one of these countries? I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, yeah, he was born in Jakarta. My knowledge, man, my knowledge. It's weird. Anyway, they've also got the Arie Luyendyk bocht, which is the last corner on the track, which is the banking, and that is named after the former Indy 500 winner, Arie Luyendyk. Trying to get, is he the only Dutch driver to win the Indy 500? He probably is. I'm trying to think of any others, but I can't. But yeah, the constructors standings, I've got them up right here to my right. I think I've got them all right. I did the math last night, and I think I just added them without even like looking if it was right. Should be. Right, here we go. It is now 2:03. The race has gotten underway probably just about now. However, I'm behind because I'm watching it on a computer and not on a television. So blame me for having a computer in my room and not a television. Look, it's just easier for me, okay? It means I can watch stuff. I really watch live TV, okay? Like, the only live TV I watch is sport. Anyway, the Cadillacs are on the hards, which is quite interesting. They're the only drivers who are on the hards. And then we've got a mix of mediums and softs in the field. But anyway, we're about to get underway in Zandvoort. Perez has gone into the pits. Oh, apparently he's starting from the pit lane. I did not know about that. But anyway, here we are. We're about to get underway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going for the Dutch Grand Prix. A bit of a slow start for Russell. Antonelli's looking to get ahead of him. Verstappen on the grass, I think that was. Lawson ahead of him now into turn 1. Norris still leads, and I don't know which one of the Mercedes is ahead. I think it's Russell. Sorry, Antonelli. Then it's Russell. And one of the Ferraris has gotten ahead of Piastri. It looks to be Leclerc. Hamilton in 6th. And then the Red Bulls are going side by side. That is not a good idea. And they've gotten away with it just about there. Lawson and Verstappen side by side. I think Lawson remains ahead for now, but very, very close between them. Then you've got the Alpine and the 2 Racing Bulls. So Yuki Tsunoda has managed to get ahead of Gabriel Bortoletti, who I think had a very poor start, because he started in 9th, and now I think he's down to about 13th, I think. Maybe even worse than that. Worse than that, he's now with Hulkenberg, who qualified down in 14th, I think. 14th or 15th. I'm trying to see what it says on my screen. But a good first lap from Lando Norris. Hulkenberg qualified 13th. So I think Bortoletto's down to around there. I'm trying to see. So it's Norris, Antonelli, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton. Then it is Verstappen is ahead of Lawson. Sorry, I thought Lawson was ahead of Verstappen, but he isn't. They're taking it very, very easy here. They're not going at full speed. Oh, we got a spinner! We got a spinner in the back! Whoa! Verstappen's out! Verstappen's out! Holy moly. Verstappen's out. I said he was taking, that they were taking it easy. That was a big one. And that is his final race at home, and final home race for him until 2028. Keep that in mind. Belgium 2028 is going to be his next race at home. And he's crashed out on the very first lap of the race in the very, very mixed conditions. I was right, Bortoletto has had a bad start. He's down to 18th now. We've got a red flag. We've got a red flag. That was a big one. I hope Verstappen's alright. He's alright. That's good. This is probably his biggest crash since Baku 21. If I actually, in terms of pure impact anyway. What actually happened? You must have lost the rear coming out the last corner. Yeah, he lost the rear. And that reminds me of that crash. It reminds me of Bourdais at the Indy 500 in qualifying, where he auto-corrects and he just goes head first into the wall. That was a big one. Bortoletto did spin at the last corner, but he saved it. He had a bad start though, Bortoletto. I think he was down to about 14th at the end of lap 1. So, right, gonna add this graphic. Right, and there we go. Bortoletto did spin, but he did manage to keep it out the wall. Quite crazy that two drivers are very good pals off the track. Verstappen and Bortoletto almost both retired from the race, but Bortoletto managed to save it, I'm pretty sure. He's down to 18th. That's how timid though these cars are. Dry tires on a wet track, and this red flag means that the rain's only going to come quicker now. See, I said that it'd probably come after about 20 laps. I don't know what their pace was in the middle and last sectors on the first lap. I'll need to have a look at that. But really good that Verstappen's okay. That's good to hear. Trying to see if there's any. See, they've got race control here, and yeah, red flag is out. Lap times. So here we go. I got it here. They were really slow in the last sector. Oh my goodness. Then again, and that's the thing. I mean, this is on lap. Is this on lap 1? It must be, because the red flag came out at the start of lap 2. They were really slow in the final sector. 56 seconds it took for them to go through the last sector. I don't know if that's because of the red flag or not, but the driver with the fastest lap was obviously Norris, because he's in the race lead, but it says the red flag's over already. I don't think that's right. Yeah, pit exit's closed. What I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna get the current order up, and I'm gonna see if I can get it on screen for you guys. So I'll add a let's see. Is it display capture? Would that be it? No, window capture, that's it. Add a new window capture, and I'll go. Why is it only showing Sky Go? I don't want it to show Sky Go. If I show Sky Go, then I'm gonna get my channel's gonna get taken out. Hang on a sec. Window capture. There we go. Right. So now I'm gonna see if I can get this up for you guys. On here, I'll have to do a lot of cropping, and I'll have to figure out where I can put it. But oh, we had a big lockup for one of the Aston Martins. They're showing a replay of the race start now. Lawson almost got ahead of Max. Lawson had a really good start. But what happens is Max gets too good a start, and then Hamilton doesn't leave him any room. And to be fair, it's the first lap. You can't really expect drivers to just give you room on the inside. I believe in one of the 1970s races at Zandvoort, something like that happened, where one of the drivers got a bad start, and he turned in too much. He got a bad start. He was on the He was on the right hand side of the grid, and there was a wall on the right, because obviously pit lane's there. And what happened was I don't remember what driver it was. I feel like it was somebody like I know it was a French driver, and I know that because I'm doing a documentary. I'm working on a documentary about that at the moment. But basically, one driver got a really poor start, and what happened was he tried to like cover himself from another driver who was coming up behind him, and he ended up making contact with him, and he went straight into the wall. Right. Let's see. Let's see. How far can I? 2,000 maybe? No, 1,500. Aha, there we go. Right. And then crop the top a fair bit, so maybe like 400? No, 300. There we go. Right. So that's the live order on screen for you guys, and I'll make sure. Is there any way I can make this window like really small, but that it's still open? I think that'll do. And then what I'll do is I'll sort it out. But we're under red flag at the moment. Big crash for Max Verstappen. Gabriel Bortoletti also spun, but he managed to get out all right. Thankfully, he's still going. But as you can see here, Max Verstappen out of his very last home race. This is a replay from Gasly, and Gasly's got to avoid him. It's a good bit of avoidance from him, to be fair. Verstappen's coming across the track. Lawson saw it unfold right in front of him, and he's like, I gotta go to the right, because he knew if I go to the left, Max is going to hit me and we're both going to be out. but I saw smoke in the background and I was like, somebody spun. And then Bortoleto, aha! Holy moly! Hulkenberg! Wow! That was incredible from Hulkenberg there. How on earth did he avoid Bortoleto? Bortoleto spins in front of him, and then Hulkenberg just slows right down, and he manages to avoid him. It's incredible. That is phenomenal from Hulkenberg there. I'm sorry. If Hulkenberg scores points today, or if Bortoleto scores points today, you can thank Hulkenberg for that. Because Hulkenberg, most drivers there, that would not have ended well. Most scenarios, that would not end well. It would end with a driver in the wall. 2 drivers in the wall. Out of the race. From the same team. And you'd probably have a massive pileup behind you, like in Mugello in 2020. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna get my... Right, there we go. Okay, so got the order up right there. Oh my, they're playing Oasis. Why? Just why? Oh, thank goodness I don't need to listen to Oasis. Limblad, yellow flag infringement. Oh. So he probably hasn't lifted enough there. Turn 14 is the last turn on the circuit, so he's not slowed down sufficiently enough, probably. So what's probably happened is because Lindblad was running in about 10th or 11th, I think he was running... I was going to say he'll probably be 10th. He's 8th, sorry, he's 8th. He was... No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Was he? No, he was 9th. He was 9th because Gasly was in front of him. Ah! I know what that'll be for. I know what it'll be for now. Lindblad's in 8th ahead of Gasly. He must have passed Gasly under the yellow flag infringement. He's going to get penalised for that if he doesn't let him through once he gets straight back out on track. I bet you right now, the Racing Bulls team representative, the racing director, is going to be going straight up to the FIA and going, we'll give him the place back as soon as we get back underway. Because Lindblad definitely overtook him illegally there. Perez has already ran 2 sets high, so when he came in on the formation lap, he went to put on softs. I was wondering why, because I hadn't heard anything of a pit lane start. But we're currently waiting to get back underway here. Order is up here for you guys. So Norris leading, Antonelli, and then Russell. Russell got a bad start. Piastri also dropped a place to Leclerc. Hamilton was very fortunate to be 6th rather than 7th or 8th at the end of the first lap because he had a very poor start. He lost place to his teammate. Leclerc had a fantastic start, 6th to 4th. Then you've got Lawson in 7th, who now is going to be the standard bearer for Red Bull today. If he needs motivation, he can move up to 9th in the standings again if he finishes ahead of Gasly. I mean, here's another replay of Lawson. He's skating about all over the place. It's like Bambi on ice, basically. You know, it's like trying to drive a car on road tires in the snow. You know, it's not gonna end well. You're gonna end up you're gonna end up in like a James Caan situation in that one Stephen King film. Albon did a good job at avoiding Bortoleto as well, but Hulkenberg was phenomenal there in avoiding it. But the thing is the reason why they don't hit one another is because as soon as they see smoke ahead, the natural instinct is to slow down. So Ocon also overtook Albon under the yellow flag. So Ocon and Lindblad are both in trouble here because they overtook under a yellow flag. Good on the race engineer for giving Hulkenberg the praise that he deserves there. I don't care what happens. If Hulkenberg crashes out the race, he's my driver of the day automatically for avoiding that. That is incredible. I'm sorry. How do you avoid that? That is incredible. 99 times out of 100, you hit that guy. You hit him. The slow-mo here is incredible. And he's like, okay, do I go right? Do I go left? Okay, I'm gonna go right and then left. Strafe. Serpentine! Serpentine! Hulkenberg is what, 40 years old almost. He's 39 and he's still got those reflexes. Wow. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh, Villa are down 2-0 to Brighton in 18 minutes. That makes me feel a little bit better. Even then, it's still not good. Annoyingly, guys, as I was saying the other day, I've not got any mobile data at the moment. I don't know what's happening with my phone, but it's just not it's just deciding I don't have mobile data, and it's really annoying me. Oh wait, hang on. What's the score in the Celtic women's game? Hang on a second. I'm gonna open another. What's happening in this game? Please tell me Celtic are winning. How have Celtic not scored, man? I'm a Celtic women's fan, so I'm keeping an eye on the score right now. It's 0-0 against Montrose. Last weekend was amazing result against Glasgow City. But not a great race so far. Not a great game so far for them. Still 0-0 though. I don't know how Montrose have kept them out. Hibs are winning 2-1 against Partick. Glasgow City are 2-0 up against Aberdeen. When are Hearts and Rangers playing? I want to know that. When are Hearts and Rangers playing? Sorry, I'm looking at the SWPL at the moment. They're playing at 4 o'clock. Okay. We're the only game that doesn't have a goal, of course. Celtic Montrose, the only game that doesn't have a goal. City are 0-0 at Bournemouth. West Brom beat Burnley. I'm just having a little look at the football scores at the moment. But currently we're under red flag. Verstappen had a big crash. As you can see, he is... Why does it say Bottas DNF? Bottas isn't out of the race. Hang on a second, I'll refresh this. Surely now it's updated. No, that's weird. It still says Bottas DNF. Guys, Bottas is not out of the race as far as I'm aware. Verstappen is. I'm waiting to see it. We haven't seen Lindblad's on board yet. I want to see Lindblad's on board, and the reason why is because I want to see if he was if he did overtake it. I think he did. I'll see if I can get F1 TV up at all. I don't know if it'll let me get it up at all, but hang on. Schedule. I'm having a little look at it and seeing if I can get F1 TV up. That's not. As soon as he said White Smoke, I just thought of White Room by Cream. I can kind of play that song on guitar, but not very well. I'll wait in this place where the sun never shines. Wait, hang on a sec. Why am I looking at the football bit? That's weird. They don't have... Hulkenberg's reflexes there, though. Wow. That's just incredible. Like, you look at that and you go, wow, that's special. Okay, yeah, they'll go back to what the original grid was. I forgot. They'll go back to what the original lineup was. on the grid because they only got one lap complete. Briatore's obviously talking to Gasly about the rain. I'm trying. I said it would be. Well, he said it would be half an hour, and we're only 8 minutes away from that now. Oh, okay, they've done it by like when they go in across the finish line. So that means Limblad will be in a good position where he shouldn't be. Same with Ocon. Ocon's fine because he passed him outside the double yellow zone. Oh, Limblad and Colapinto are probably going to get penalties. Wait, hang on. What's happened to the... There we go. Right. Perfect. Right, I think it'll still work in the background, hopefully, but... Yeah, so... Colapinto overtook Tsunoda, and then Lindblad overtook Gasly. So that's what they'll be looking at, and those two will get penalties. Ocon's fine because he passed Albon into turn 1, which was not the double yellows, because the double yellow zone would have been from one of the mini sectors to the start-finish line. Because it was at the last corner, the double yellow ends at the start-finish line, basically. So if you pass after the start-finish line, and before the red flag or safety or yellow flag or safety car comes out, then you're fine, basically. So... But we're going to get underway in about 8 minutes time. 33 minutes past. Although, to be fair, my stream is about a minute behind, so it's 9 minutes for me, technically. We're not too far away from getting back underway again. Hopefully, we get a good race here. Glad that Max is alright, because that was a big one. Yellow flag infringement. Lindblad is under investigation now. Not good news for the British, Norwegian, Indian. I think he's Norwegian, isn't he? He's either Norwegian or Swedish. I need to check that. I don't want to get my facts wrong. Albon was complaining that Ocon had passed him in a danger, well, after going through a dangerous scene, but it wasn't illegal because what he did was he passed him after a yellow flag zone had concluded and they were back to green flag zone. So there was nothing innately wrong with that. Yeah, he's Swedish, I was right. No, did I say Swedish or did I say Norwegian? Did I say Norwegian? I don't even remember. But, I still have an F1 driver that's older than me. Yes. So still all the F1 drivers are older than me. I think I've got another... I think next year's my last year that Freddie Slater will inevitably get to F1 in 2028 and I will become an unk. To be fair, I already have got to that stage, unfortunately. 10 new likes on your reel. Oh, this is mental, right? Hello, grateful and blessed. How are you doing? This is mental, right? On YouTube, I had a short that got 200 views, and on Instagram, it got 16,000. I don't even know. Laura Mekis has just walked back into Red Bull Motorhome. That's a bit odd. That's quite odd, you'd think, right? I mean, surely Mekis wouldn't go back into the motorhome if the race is getting back underway in 7 minutes. Like, but here's a replay of the start from Bortoleto. And yeah, he got away quite poorly, as I said, because I'd noticed that both the Racing Bulls and the Alpine had gotten ahead of him, and I was like, oh, he must be down to 12th or 13th, because he was with Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg started in 13th. So he got passed by both the Racing Bulls and the Alpine, and now he's down in 18th because of the spin that he had. And then there goes Colapinto past him. Colapinto dive-bombed him, and then Hulkenberg got past him as well. Bortoleto had an awful start there, and then he spins coming out the last corner, and the avoidance from Hulkenberg is world class. See, that is why these guys get paid millions of pounds or dollars or euros or wherever you in the world that you are in the world for this. And that's because they are so good at avoiding these incidents. They can, see something that nobody else can in the flickering light. They can see something that we can't. They've got incredible vision. They've got reflexes like there's no tomorrow, and they have to deal with all sorts of G forces that us humans are not designed to withstand. But one day, Carl Benz was like, "Tell you what, I'm gonna build a car. I need to get about somewhere and I don't want to use a horse because it's uncomfortable. So I'll make a car from a combustion engine." And here we are, 140 odd years later, and this is what we've got from it. Rather interesting. If this was a drug, this would be speed. This would be high levels of what's the drug that's like in all the other drugs? I can't remember the name of it. The one that like, oh my god, what's the name of it? What's the name of that drug, man? I can't remember the name of it. But it's like that. It's like that. Um, this is like scale electrics on rails, you know. So um, it's that's F1 in a nutshell. Um, um, Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I'm trying to see. The government are going to be looking at my search history and going, "Why are you looking up cocaine?" It's an ingredient. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a really, really deadly drug. That's like if that is like F1 basically. If it was a drug, it's dangerous and insane. You know. Um, I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, who do you think will win the Dutch Grand Prix? Um, I said it would be George, and I'm sticking by that. Villa are 3-0 down. City are 1-0 down. Good God, Levin. Yeah, see, I don't look as bad now, do I? We don't look as bad now, do we? Because at least Villa are 3-0 down to Brighton. United would be beating Brighton if we were playing them, probably. Actually, no, we wouldn't, because we got Tielemans who's slow. Good God, Lemon. Yeah, yeah. Arsenal are going to win the league by, like, at least 50. No, Villa are 4-0 down. Holy this is like, United, United at Brentford all over again. Oh my god. No way. Oh my god. Jack Hinshelwood gone mad. Of course Lindelof gets an own goal. That makes so much sense. I'm sorry, that just makes so much sense that Victor Lindelof gets an own goal there. Race restart is in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm trying to see what other football matches are on at the moment that have really mental scorelines. There aren't really any, to be honest. I mean, just apart from Vancouver Whitecaps beating Dallas 5-0, but I mean, that's what happens when you have Thomas Muller in your team. He only got one assist, to be fair. But anyway, a minute and a half until we get back underway here. Um, Hang on. Fentanyl, that's it. I was trying to remember the name of it. You're a great F1 career. Thanks. I don't often get people saying that. I hope to God it's not like a Family Guy situation when Stewie's holding Brian's head and he's a gun to a head and he's having to make him say things to Joe and he's like, Joe, I love you. You're really cool. And he's like, oh, well, thanks, Brian. This'll help me get through my mowing the lawn. And he's like, just kidding. You suck. And he's like, there goes my confidence. Seriously, like, thank you. So 25 seconds now until we get back underway. As I said, I've got the timing screen up here, and the gaps are updating, which means it's working. Yes, I don't even have the window open on my computer, and it's working. Literally, the only windows I've got open on my computer are this. Hello, Inception. Inception effect gone mad. Mirror effect gone mad. Oh, there we go. Yeah, is there any changes to the tires? That's the question. I'm gonna see. Tell you what I'll do. I'll uncrop this a little bit, and the reason why is because then you'll be able to see the tires that everybody's on. So I'll uncrop the right a little bit. Let's see, 400 maybe. 450. There we go. That works. Okay, so we got everything here. That's how things are looking at the moment in the order. So I don't need to go through it as much, although to be fair, I'll still do it because when you're doing a journalism degree, you always get told, always repeat what the score is in a football match, and it's the same thing with what the top 10 is in a Formula 1 race. So always do that if you're looking to be a motorsport journalist or commentator. That's what I got told. In my degree that I'm doing at the moment, that I'm paying. Well, I'm not paying any money for the degree, but I'm paying $8,000 a year to live in Edinburgh. So, race control standing start. So they're gonna go back to the grid and do it that way. Are Villa 5-0 down yet? I want to have a little look and see. It would be quite funny if they were. How are Celtic still at 0-0 at Montrose? That's ridiculous. No, it's still 4-0. Damn. Oh well, at least United's bad result is going to get overshadowed by this. Oh my god, I'm looking at what the backline scores are for Aston Villa, and holy moly, they're terrible. All of them are under a 4.9. The only three players who have got more than a 6 are Barkley, McGinn, and Windia. You gotta get big. Maggio's not even on the bench. Oh, he's got a knock. That's why. Got to get big Brian Maggio on the pitch eventually, man. That's the only way Villa win. If they get the ball to him, they'll win. Anyway, how on earth did Villa go from losing 2-1 to 2-1 to PSG, by the way, to being 4-0 down at halftime at Brighton? That's just ridiculous. Like, Brighton are good, but they're not that good. That happens from time to time. But you know, like, anyway, Villa being 4-0 down at Brighton would be like Aston Martin finishing in 8th place. Oh, we got an issue. Behrman has an issue. Behrman's out. As soon as I thought we were gonna get back underway, and there, and we got another retirement. For goodness sake, his engine's broken. Hang on a second. Is Bottas out? Question is, are we going to get underway before they clear Behrman's car, or are we going to have an aborted start? Not all the drivers have come through yet, so we're still waiting for them all to get onto the grid. Bottas isn't out. I knew he wasn't out. I don't know why it said he was out. But Behrman and Verstappen are now out of the race. They're doing an extra formation lap. Okay, so we're still waiting to get back underway, but we've already got 2 retirements from this race, and we've only completed, what, 4 laps? One of which was under red flag conditions, and one of which is from an aborted start. In fact, no, are we on lap 5 now? What lap are we even on? Next thing, somebody's gonna stall on the grid, honestly. Like, or they'll do what they did at the 99 European Grand Prix, and it'll be like they're checking for cheaters to see who's gonna jump the start. This is so. How are Celtic 0-0 Montrose? They've had 21 shots and got only 4 on target. Jesus. Here's me thinking after we beat Glasgow City last week that we might actually have a good season. No, we can't even we can't even get a goal at Montrose. We can't even get a goal at Montrose. This is oh god. Being a Celtic women's fan is pain, although it could be worse. I could be a fan of I could be a Villa fan right now. That's actually a fair point. I could be an Aston Villa fan right now. Oh. What on earth has happened, man? Brighton are 4-0 up at Villa. By the way, watch out for Luka Vuskovic. He is a fantastic defender. Anyway, that's mental. The fact that the Villa are 4-0 down after what was it, 32 minutes? They were 4-0 down. A goal every 8 minutes. Well done, Villa. Well done. Who scored for Bournemouth? Was it Truffert? No, it's Tavernier. I don't know why I guessed Truffert, but I got the right side of the pitch. But anyway, we're about to get back underway here properly now because the extra formation lap is coming to an end. Norris and Russell are lining up on Russell and Antonelli, sorry, are lining up on the grid. I don't know if I should change the starting grid now because technically we've got another starting grid. I'm not going to. I'm lazy. Look, I have to go into Canva to make these graphics. Okay, what you see on screen, it's not made in the software that I'm using to stream. It's not an OBS. I do this in Canva, and you can probably tell because it's terrible. But I try my best, guys. Okay, I try my best. I am no graphic designer. Kimi Antonelli. Oh, bit of smoke from Antonelli's brakes. That's a bit concerning. His brakes are smoking. Not literally smoking a cigarette. They're smoking as in they've got air. They've got like steam coming out of them. Anyway, here we go. Smoke coming out of them. Anyway, here we go. Right. Back underway. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're underway. Good start from Norris, but an even better one from Antonelli, who's going to try and get the lead into turn 1. Norris is going to try and force him to as much to the inside as possible. Antonelli's got the lead, and Antonelli's won the race. Good night, everybody. Antonelli's got the lead, and he's going to win. Damn it. Piastri's gotten back ahead again of Leclerc. Leclerc, bit loose there, but I think everybody's gotten away safely this time, and I don't think we've had any stallers. Waiting for the order to update right here because Antonelli is now in the lead, and Russell has just been passed by Piastri. Russell has got all sorts of pressure going on right now, and Piastri's just made a brilliant move up into third. Leclerc putting him under pressure. Can he make the move into box 10? He's going to try it. He's not able to make it stick, but will he be able to get him into the chicane that's coming up? He's gotten a bit loose on the exit, so probably not. But as you guys are going to see in a second... Oh, Lindblad with a drive-through penalty. That's mental. A drive-through penalty for that. Piastri's at a phenomenal restart. Hulkenberg's in 9th. Hulkenberg's in 9th. How has he done that? How is Hulkenberg up into 9th? That's mad. Oh, he was up into 10th and then Lindblad's taken his penalty. That's what's happened there. Antonelli's just running away already. This is... Antonelli and Norris are running away with it. Piastri's got Russell behind him and he's holding him up a little bit. But then again, Russell had a really bad start and it bottlenecked everybody else, which definitely didn't help. Oh, for goodness sake. Hang on a sec. Right. Okay, there we go. Right, so this is what the order is right now. Because they haven't got it on screen right now. They're having technical issues. So the order is Antonelli, Norris, Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg up into 9th after a phenomenal restart, and Colapinto is in 10th. I was saying earlier, If Nico Hulkenberg gets points today, it's all on him. And he's currently in 9th, so he's looking good at the moment. There we go, we've got the order up on screen now. Colapinto's going to get a penalty, which means Yuki Tsunoda is going to be in the points in his first race back in F1. And probably his last race in F1 for the foreseeable future. Because Hadjar's got 2 weeks to recover from... well, he's probably had a few weeks already, so he'll be back. It's not like with NASCAR where you can, like, relieve a driver, unfortunately. The driver who starts the race is the one who has to finish it. Bortoletto's just got past Alonso for 14th place. So that's him now cleared both the Aston Martins on the restart. Now this is a replay of Piastri's move. What happened to Russell? Russell just ran out of battery, I'm pretty sure. And Piastri's like, thank you very much. And he just goes straight past him. Either that or Russell had a missed gear of sorts. But here's the front two. Norris has got softs on, Antonelli has mediums on, and he's waiting for the rain to come. They said that the rain was going to arrive in half an hour. It's been 45 minutes now, guys. Where is the rain? Where is the rain? Get the rain, honestly, get whatever the opposite of a shaman is, and get them in and go, tell it to rain, tell it to rain. Colapinto's gotten a drive-through penalty. Well, that's his and Lindblad's race screwed. For now, anyway. So that means Yuki Tsunoda's in the points. And that means Alex Albon's only one position away from the points. He's in 11th now. That Colapinto's come in for... Well, he will come in for his drive-through penalty. And here we go. The Ferraris are battling with... Oh, there we go. The Ferraris are battling with Russell here for 4th at the moment. Antonelli and Norris have kind of just pulled away from everybody else. And a bit like Alba Larson and Alicia Palmovsky in the F1 Academy race, those two just pulled away from everybody else. Piastri's pulled out of overtake mode of Russell at the moment. However, Leclerc is right behind Russell. He's half a second behind him at the moment. Coming into turn 10 boxed. Boxed 10. Bortoletto now behind Ocon. Audi are looking really quick today. They're looking really good. Because he's gotten past the Aston Martins, and now he's looking to clear Ocon. He's caught up to him. Unfortunately, though, he's in an overtake mode train. It's weird saying overtake mode instead of DRS. It's like when you're doing a Word document, right? You have to replace DRS with overtake mode. That's what I'm having to do here. You can't even say DRS anymore in F1. It sucks. But they're trying to get overtake modes. And Tsunoda's just got past Colapinto because Colapinto's come into the pits for his penalty, which means, as you guys can see here, Yuki Tsunoda's supremacy. I warned you guys about it. I told you guys about the prophecy, and some of you didn't believe me. He is the Messiah. He is the Messiah. I'm not the Messiah. He's not the Messiah. Oh my God, Villa down to 10 men. Is it McGinn? No, it's Gomez. Oh my goodness. This Villa down to 10 men and they're 4-0 down at half time. Yes, Celtic have scored. Come on. Celtic ladies have scored. They're 1-0 up against Montrose. That is a win. That is a massive win. It says Bottas is out. He's not. He's in 17th place. His transponder isn't working. This stupid thing. It did this yesterday with Bottas. Do you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to crop it. Oh, wait, hang on. Why isn't it working? No, I don't want to go to Monza. I don't want to go to Monza. We're not going to Monza yet. Oh, for God's sake. I don't want to go to Monza. Patch session upcoming. I don't want to go to Monza. Hang on. I'm trying to get my... There we go. Right. For some reason, it still says that he's out of the race. Bortoletto is under investigation for something. I didn't see what it was, but Antonelli's pulled outside of DRS and Norris. Oh, stupid me for thinking George Russell would win today, honestly. Here's me thinking, oh, he's ahead of him on the grid. Surely he'll beat him. No. Right, so if I put that on 250 maybe? 200, 200, that'll do. Right, Bottas isn't out the race. As you can see here, I've got who's out of the race here. Bottas isn't out of the race. The rest of the order is correct, though, apart from that. So we're on lap 10 now, 72. Antonelli leads Norris, and then it's Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg, and Tsunoda. So currently, Nico Hulkenberg on for his second points finish of 2026. That would move him ahead of Esteban Ocon in the driver standings. Audi would close in a little bit on Haas. They'd go from 9 points back to 7 back. Currently, Mercedes pulling away from Ferrari, McLaren making gains on them, but we're only 11 laps into a 72-lap race, and we've not had many green flag laps. Charles Leclerc is closing down on George Russell into Tarzan, but he's not able to make the move stick for now. He's been a tenth quicker than him the last lap, and he's right on his tail. Russell has got overtake on Piastri though, and what they're saying is Piastri might hold up the rest of the pack behind him to help Norris out in his battle with Antonelli, and Mercedes are going to be trying their best to foil that plan with Russell. And this reminds me very much so of Carlos Sainz in Singapore in 2023, because what he did was he kept Norris within a second of him so that the Mercedes, who were on better tyres behind, couldn't get past. And Piastri's doing a very similar thing here. It's difficult to pass around Zandvoort, and so they're using that as an opportunity. But Leclerc is right on Russell's tail. Unfortunately for him, though, well, fortunate for him, actually, Russell's not got overtake mode. So Leclerc should get past here. He should be able to anyway. He's catching him, but he's not close enough at the moment. He's just not close enough to get through at the moment. In terms of guys who have gone on to new tyres, Lindblad's on new tyres, and so is Piastri, Leclerc, Lawson, and I couldn't see the rest of them. It'll be here somewhere. You'll see it here. Oh wait, no, you can't. That's annoying. Hang on a sec. I'll see if I can. Nope, that's not what I want. I don't want that. I'm looking for... Wait, hang on. This is ahead. I want it to be 60 seconds behind. There we go. Lap times. I think that should be it. Give it a minute, guys. I'm having to get it back up to sync. So if you're wondering what this is, and you're just joining, it's a leaderboard of what's happening right now, but because I'm a minute behind, I'm having to put it in sync. Right, Leclerc's half a second back. Can he make a move here? I don't know if he will. Bortoletto's come in, which is quite interesting. Lindblad is right on the tail of the Cadillacs now, who are 3 seconds off Sainz. Jeez, he's having a bad weekend. He's what, 2.5? He's 3.5 seconds behind his teammate after 12 laps. Not great. Let's see. Has that been a minute? No. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Behrman and Bortoletto leaving pit exit on red light. So they went when they weren't allowed to. Naughty. Naughty. That says Bortoletto on 12 lap old softs. Oh, there we go. Hang on. This is what's happening here? Why is this? I think I'm just gonna close this, man. I'm just gonna close this. Screw it. I'm just gonna close it. Right. We're gonna go back to the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna read out the order every now and then. And if you don't like it, tough titty. Yes, Celtic Regional up. Right, we got the win in the bag. Hey, Maria McInerney got the goal. Right, so that's us now. Got 2 wins from 2. Good. Good start to the season for the women's team. Oh my god, poor Villa, man. Poor Villa. Any Villa fans that were mocking United yesterday now look like fools, though. So, but anyway, again, like it's the same problem as yesterday. You can't overtake around here, and so what you just get is just drivers getting stuck behind one another and nothing happening. Like, this is why some people are saying give points to every driver, because then you can actually look at guys further back and go, oh well, it's for bragging rights. Well, no, it can be for position as well. In the standings, Alonso, by the way, is right behind Ocon. Imagine being a Haas fan and thinking, well, things aren't looking too bad. And then you see an Aston Martin is less than a second behind you, and you're going, oh my God, they were miles behind us at the start of the season. We were getting points early on. Ollie Behrman's on 18 points. And he would be getting beaten by an Aston Martin right now, potentially. But anyway, at the moment, Russell's moving back up to second in the standings, but he's still losing 13 points to Antonelli. So Antonelli would now be 68 points ahead of him. Thank God it's not a one number more or one number less, because then I would have to make a joke about it, and I do not want to make a joke about a number, because that is sad. Look at the clouds. Oh, that looks ominous. In the distance, it looks a little bit dark in the distance, guys. Please, let there be rain, because this is going to be a rubbish race otherwise. Like, please, guys, I need somebody to watch this with me, because I don't want to suffer alone. Please, let's suffer together. How romantic is it that we're all here suffering together? Leclerc just can't get past Russell, man. He just can't get past him. Is there anything else that's going on at the moment? Consider original plan A. Well, that's not looking too good for Mercedes, because if they're going with their original plan after a red flag and an aborted start, that's not a great sign. Oh yeah, Alonso's right behind Ocon now. Alonso's seeing the Haas, and he's like, Behrman's out of the race, so that's Ocon. And those two do not exactly get on well anymore. I mean, Alonso literally gave Ocon his win. He did. Ocon did what he did, right? And he drove well. But Alonso defending like a lion against Hamilton is what won Ocon that race, okay? It wasn't Ocon being individually insane like Sebastian Vettel in Monza in 2008, okay? It was because of Alonso. And Ocon pays him back by being a dirty driver to him. And a bad teammate. That's Alonso's perspective on it anyway. Norris isn't losing too much time to Antonelli, but this is when he's going to start losing time to him, because he's on the softs. Either that, or I'm trying to figure out what McLaren could be doing, because I mean, there's theories it could be Piastri holding the guys behind him up, but he's not, because Russell's too far behind him. He's 2.2 seconds back from him. Do you know what? Piastri's probably going to try one stop here and go really long into the race until the rain comes. It's interesting, the guys in top three, they're all on different sets, on different compounds of tyres, at the moment. Antonelli's on mediums, Norris is on softs, and then Piastri's on hards. So after 16 laps, Antonelli leads ahead of Norris, Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Lawson, Gasly, Hülkenberg, and Tsunoda. And Lance Stroll has come into the pits. Norris is saying that this is all the pace he's got, and he's 1.7 seconds behind Antonelli. Here's me thinking after practice and qualifying, maybe we might actually have a battle for the race win. No, it's this. It's just like in Miami, isn't it? I mean, Norris is close, but he's just not got that final bit of performance that he needs to get the Mercedes, you know? But yeah, Leclerc still half a second back from Russell. He's closing in on him a bit. I think Leclerc might be able to get him here if he can keep up with him. I think Leclerc's going to get him here, you know. I think Leclerc's going to get him here. Come on. Ah! See, this is the problem. He's 4 tenths behind him and he still can't get past him. He's 4 tenths behind him and he still can't get past him. This is the problem. Like, if he's within 3 tenths at the last corner, he might get past him. But if he's 4 tenths, he's not going to get past him. Ocon's come into the pits because he's scared of an Aston Martin passing him on track. He's seen Alonso getting closer to him and he's like, oh no, I'm going to get passed by an Aston Martin. This is embarrassing. They've got the worst engine on the grid by a country mile. They barely even survived the first race of the season. Neither of them finished. So Piastri's saying that the hards not much better than the mediums over the long run, which is quite interesting for strategy, because a lot of teams might go, okay, is there any point in running the hards then if it's not much better over the long run than the mediums are? Although the only sample size that they've got for that is practice, which isn't really it's indicative a bit, but it's not ridiculously indicative of things, and of the actual pace of the actual tire. Oh, Celtic got a third goal. Nice. Who was it? Oh, it was Fisher. She got her first goal for the club. And Russell's into the pits. Now, this is interesting. Slow stop as well. That's 3.5 seconds, I'd say. It says 3 seconds. It was more than that, to me anyway. But there's Nico Hulkenberg, and he's going to come out just ahead, is Hulkenberg, of George Russell. So that means he's going to have to pass cars, and that is not going to help him out at all, because he's going to have to use his battery, and he's going to lose time behind Hulkenberg, because Hulkenberg is not going to be running the same lap times as Leclerc and Hamilton is. If I'm Leclerc and Hamilton, I keep pushing for a couple more laps. Russell was P4, he is pitted. It doesn't change our race yet, is what Norris's engineer has told him. So let's see what happens. It depends entirely on how Russell does trying to get past Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's given him the space on the inside, and Russell's probably going to go around his outside here. Hulkenberg is fighting it, but he's let him go. He's let him go. He's let him go. And Russell's clear one car, but he will have lost time trying to get past him there. And the question is, do Ferrari pit? Well, Piastri's pitting on the hards. So that's the one stop out the window. What? McLaren have had an awful stop there with Piastri. That's at least 5 seconds. So Russell had a bad stop, and now Piastri's had an even worse one. If Russell comes out behind Piastri, the only reason why is because Russell had a bad stop as well. And Piastri's behind him. Russell is ahead of Piastri because Piastri had an awful stop. Ferrari can get their pit stop right here, they might be able to jump both of them. Although then again, Russell's now got clean air, so Ferrari have to pit now or extend their stint and try and go into a different strategy. That's their main way of trying to get ahead of Russell here for the podium place. I mean, unless something really weird happens, I can see Antonelli winning this ahead of Norris now. But I don't know who's going to finish third, because Russell and Piastri, I think Piastri's got better race pace than Russell has. However, trying to pass her in here is difficult. The Ferraris look quite quick on the softs, but we'll see what it's like when they're on different tires. You know, it's very wishy-washy about where things are going to go. Are Ferrari going to pit this lap with either of them? Or is Hamilton going to come in, or is Leclerc going to come in? I don't think they have, because they must have gone past the start-finish line by now. Yeah, they have. So the Ferraris are continuing on. Antonelli's the only driver who hasn't gone onto a different set of tires. I like that it says tire changes, not pit stops. So Antonelli's the only driver, ironically, the one that's in the race lead, who hasn't changed his tires yet. Hulkenberg's now come into the pits from 8th place, and he'll be trying to come out in a reasonable place, but Ferrari are... So Hamilton is 1.4 seconds behind Leclerc, who's 8 seconds behind Norris. They are about 15 seconds ahead of Russell and 17 ahead of Piastri at the moment, roughly. So Piastri's being told to up the pace because the Ferraris are doing good lap times right now, so this is looking good for them at the moment. If McLaren's telling Piastri, you've got to do this lap time. The problem for Piastri is he's behind Russell, and is he quicker than Russell? I mean, Russell's just set the fastest lap of the race on new hards, so they both look to be quick at the moment, but will that last? We'll see, I suppose, but Leclerc's slightly pulling away. It's not that much of a gap he's put up on him so far. Right, hang on a second. I was going to record this and put it on YouTube, but this race has been absolutely rubbish so far. So this is getting in the bin. This is going in the bin. I've got only like 30 gigabytes of space now. I ain't doing this no more. I ain't doing this. Right. Where is this? 23rd, yeah, right. How much space? It's only 540 megabytes, but I'll delete it for now anyway, just because like there's nothing really going on at the moment. However, I've not permanently deleted it because something might happen that's interesting. We'll see. Into the pits, Antonelli and Norris come in together, so this is a pit lane battle. Both the teams have had slow stops, and Antonelli and Norris have both had slow stops. Both of them had slow stops. Now Leclerc's going to come in. If Ferrari can get a good pit stop here, which they haven't either. All of them are having slow stops here. Imagine, right, all those guys get slow stops and the Red Bull just do it in like 2.5 seconds. Let's see. 3.3. They're all having slow pit stops. All of them are. Leclerc's come out miles behind Piastri here. But he's on a couple laps fresher tyres, which will help him out. I don't think he's in the battle for this, so I think it's down to Russell and Piastri for the final place on the podium. Hamilton stayed out, and he's still at the front. He's going to be hoping for a safety car, literally like that, because otherwise he's going to drop behind Leclerc quite comfortably. But Lawson's just vibing. He's just chilling in 7th, and he's doing exactly... Because the thing is, I mean, Verstappen would have been lucky if he finished top 5 today. Like, he just wouldn't have had the pace for it. And so Lawson's just doing what's expected of him, and he's doing it well. So fair play to him. But at the moment, Hamilton's staying out. However, we don't know if he's going to come in this lap or not. I don't think he has, because he would have gone past the start-finish line now. Yeah, he stayed out. So Hamilton stayed out another lap. So we're on lap 23 now. Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, Sainz haven't pitted on their strategies yet. Hulkenberg has, however, and he is right behind Pierre Gasly and Arvid Lindblad, who haven't pitted, I don't think. Or have they? Maybe they have, but Hulkenberg's on soft, so he should get past at least one of them pretty soon. Hamilton's still staying out. Is he going to try and elongate this and try and do a one-stop, maybe? Try and go 49 laps on the hards? He might try that. Lawson's just cleared Alonso, who's running in the points right now, not on merit, unless there's a safety car. If there's a safety car, then Aston Martin have lucked out. But at the moment, Hamilton's just staying out. He's just continuing to run his race, run his course. However, Antonelli is run really quick now, and he's closing on Hamilton. So, we will see. We will see. Hamilton, is he going to come in? Is he coming out? No, he's staying out. Hamilton's staying out another lap. Antonelli's just gained about 1.5 seconds on him on that lap, by the way, which is quite wild. But then again, new tyres. So Antonelli will be at the back of Hamilton in the next 4 laps. Lawson needs to clear Albon here. He cleared Alonso pretty quickly, but Lawson's about 15 seconds back from the guys at the front. He would need a safety car and some things to go his way for him to get any higher than 7th today, I think. But he's done a great job, has Lawson, and this is going to be his first points in a Red Bull car as it stands. He's going to fly past Albon in towards turn 1. Lovely overtake. Leclerc's just set the fastest lap of the race. And could we have a battle for the podium here? Or is the pace going to fall off for Leclerc? We'll see. But Lindblad's about to get passed by Gasly. And Hulkenberg is there as well. So we've got 3 drivers with a very, very mixed level of experience, because we've got Lindblad, who's a rookie, defending from Gasly, who's been in F1 for 10 seasons now. 9.5, really. And Nico Hulkenberg, who's been in F1 for about 13 or 14. So, very mixed levels of experience. Hamilton's saying the tyres are okay. Do you know what? This is very, very good for Ferrari, because this opens the race up to different strategies for them. But, oh my goodness, we've got a train behind Carlos Sainz forming. And this is good news for guys like Albon and Alonso. I mean, maybe this is what Williams are going for. Maybe they're going for get Sainz to hold these guys up, and then Albon can jump a few of them, potentially. I don't know. I honestly don't know what their strategy play is here. But Gasly's gotten ahead of Hulkenberg, and he's trying to defend from him, because Gasly got ahead on strategy. Antonelli's going to catch him in 2 laps, but Hulkenberg's trying his best to get past Gasly here. He's going to surely do it, because he's on soft tyres. He's on new tyres, whereas Gasly's on... I think mediums or hards. I couldn't see what it was there, but he's certainly not on softs. Otherwise, I would have noticed that. But Gasly's going to go for a move here on Lindblad into 1. No, he's not. But this is interesting. This is actually interesting racing. What we've got at the front is a procession at the moment, essentially. Alonso's catching Albon here, and this is for position. So can Alonso get ahead of Albon? Because if so, that's a really good bit of positioning for Alonso. He would be up to about 12th or 13th with that, which is a good result for Aston Martin considering the season they've had. Hamilton's going to come in this lap, however, and that will be the end of his run on the softs. 23 laps, I think he did on those, which is very good. So this will be... Is he going to have a clean stop? That's a good stop. Considering today's pit stop standards, that was a good stop, 2.5 seconds. Because most of the pit stops today have been 3 seconds or worse. Like McLaren have been terrible. Mercedes have been terrible. Red Bull have been terrible. I mean, to be fair, they've only had 1 pit stop to do. They haven't had 2. And Ferrari have been a little bit better, but not much better. But Hamilton's now into the race, and he's on hards. I think he's going to go to the end here. I think Hamilton's going to try and go to the end here. He's got to do 46 laps on hards. I think he can do that. If he did 25 on the softs, surely he could do 40 at least on the hard. You know? And then that helps him out, because if he stays out on those hards and a safety car comes out right at the very end of the race, he's going to gain massively from that. Sainz is completely holding these guys up here in the Williams in what is currently the battle for 10th. However, this is a 3-way battle for the points, because Sainz and Lindblad are off strategy at the moment, whereas Gasly, Hülkenberg and Tsunoda are. Now, once Albon, Alonso, Sainz and Lindblad come into the pits, that means that you're going to have these guys battling for what is 8th place in this race. So if Bortoleto can catch up to these guys, we've got a 4-way battle for the points, which is really good. And it would be between the 2 Audis, one of the Alpines, and one of the Racing Bulls, the Racing Bull being Tsunoda. But Gasly's trying to get past Lindblad. He's finally cleared him. That's him up into 11th place now. But he can't clear him. And Lindblad's going to try and get back ahead. And he's forced to lock up. And around goes Hülkenberg. Around the outside. Bravo, Nico. Phenomenal move there. He just capitalised. Took the move when he could. And got in ahead. Alonso is still out on track. He's up into 8th now, because Albon's finally pitted. So this is now Lindblad in 10th. And now Hülkenberg is going to go for another overtake. He's going to try and go around the outside of the Racing Bull. He's going to try and go all the way around. Oh, what a move from Nico! What a move! Right around the outside. He is on softs, but that was an overtake. Wow. Norris is closing up on Antonelli as well. Do we actually have a race on our hands? But that was a phenomenal move from Hülkenberg there. If he can just stay ahead of Lindblad in this sector, he'll get clear of him. So Hülkenberg, to summarise, this has been Hülkenberg's race. He nearly crashed into his teammate who spun in front of him on the opening lap. He got up to 9th place on the restart. Then he pitted, dropped behind Gasly, and he's gone back ahead of him again, and he's about to move up, and he's going to move up into 8th place on strategy here. Gasly's still trying to clear Lindblad. It's because Gasly's on the hards right now. He just can't clear him. And now, this is going perfectly for Racing Bulls and for Audi, because Gasly's struggling to get past the Racing Bull of Lindblad, means Tsunoda and Bortoleto are now right behind him. And Alpine are going to be fearing for their lives here, trying to get a few points with Gasly, because Colapinto, his race is ruined because he got that drive-through. But Gasly's trying to make a move and he can't. He's stuck behind that Racing Bull. Gasly's going to try a move here. He's going to try and maintain it. Lindblad's left him space, but Gasly had to back out of it because Lindblad had enough of a gap in front of him. He was in front coming into the corner, so Gasly knew he couldn't make the move. And now, here comes Yuki Tsunoda, right behind his former teammate. They were really good pals, really good teammates with one another. And Tsunoda side by side with Gasly. This is brilliant racing. What a move from Yuki Tsunoda. What a move from Yuki Tsunoda. And now Bortoleto's right behind him. Gasly went from battling with Lindblad for what was effectively 8th place to now hanging on for a point here, because now he's got Gabriel Bortoleto right behind him. And this is important for Audi in the Constructors' battle, because Audi are 9 points behind Haas. If Audi finish where they're going to finish at the moment, which is in 8th and in 10th, that means that they will pick up another 5 points on Haas in their first season as a factory team. Hamilton's just set fastest lap. Leclerc's close up to Piastri. We've actually got a race on our hands here. We've actually got a race on our hands. I mean, it's not the Indy 500, but, you know, Hülkenberg's just cleared Sainz now. Alonso, by the way, Alonso is going to be fighting for 11th or 12th place here. He is looking really good here for a good result. Perez has just got past Bottas, who's come into the pits. And there goes Antonelli lapping Colapinto and now Bottas. So Colapinto a lap down now because of the drive-through penalty that he got. Lindblad's been able to still do something with his race, though, despite getting a long lap. He's up into 12th. I think Colapinto's pitted, though, since then. But Leclerc's right behind Piastri now, and he's looking to make a move. After all, for Ferrari, this race is damage limitation. Lose as little points to McLaren as you can, because McLaren have looked strong this weekend. So if Leclerc can finish ahead of one of the McLarens, then that's a good result for them, even if they don't want it to be. This has been a good... I mean, the last 5 or 10 laps have been really good, I have to say. However, it's thanks to Lindblad and Sainz for holding the pack up in the midfield. But now Leclerc is right behind Piastri, and he's on mediums. Piastri's on hards. I think we might see an overtake in a minute, hopefully, in this race. Hamilton's closing up on him as well, because Hamilton's just set fastest lap. Norris and Antonelli. See, the problem that Norris has is he doesn't have a tyre offset to Antonelli at all. They pit on the same lap, they're on the same compound, so he's not going to be able to pass him unless Antonelli has an issue of sorts. But Tsunoda's just cleared Sainz, so that means he is up into what will be 9th place. And imagine that, Yuki Tsunoda in his last F1 race getting a 9th place finish in that racing bull. That would be a great farewell for him. And this is an audition for IndyCar teams, for WEC teams, for F1 teams. This is an audition to them, and it's the same for Lawson, because both of them don't know their futures. Lawson doesn't know if he's going to be in a seat next year because of Nikola Solov. See, Norris has got him with an overtaking mode of Antonelli, but he's just not able to get right to him. I remember the first race of the new regulations in Australia, there was so much overtaking going on, and then the accident happened in Suzuka with Behrman and Colpin, and they're like, nah, we need to get rid of this super clipping, and as a result, the racing's got a bit worse. But it's safer. It's safer. So Bortoleto is going to try and clear Gasly here. Sainz is finally pitted, which means that the last drivers who need to pit are Lindblad and Hulkenberg. Everybody else is pitted now. Leclerc is right on the tail of Piastri now. He's going to pass him here. If he can just keep that gap around about where... No, he's not going to. It's about 5/10 now. Nah, he's not going to get him. If he gets him here, I'll be surprised. Maybe it's going to be tight. I don't think he will, though. He's going to have to really send it if he's going to make a move. A bit like what Oscar did to him in Baku a few years ago. That move from Oscar to win that race was phenomenal. I remember that. That was a fantastic race, by the way. 2024 Baku. The battle for the podium at the end, when Perez and Sainz and Leclerc were battling for second. And then Sainz and Perez hit each other. And one of the Mercs, I think, finished third in that race. But... Norris is keeping up with Antonelli, but he's just not able to clear him at all for the race lead. But meanwhile, Piastri's not lost much time to Russell. If Leclerc can get clear of Piastri here, he might be able to catch up to Russell here for the last podium place. I wouldn't count out. Oh, really, really snaky there for Leclerc. But the movements, he had a lot of oversteer on the exit of turn 9 of Bok 9. But here he comes. Here they come into the chicane. The guys that are in the lead are going into Arie Luyendyk Bocht. They're now catching up to Colapinto to lap him, and that means that they've lapped up until 18th place pretty much now. Alonso is just doing what he did in Hungary, which is doing half the race on a set of softs. I don't know what he's doing, but it's working at the moment anyway. But here comes Leclerc. Here comes Leclerc. Is he going to be able to make a move? No, he's not. That was whoever did the TV direction there. That was terrible. You switch the camera, we didn't see Leclerc and Piastri for another 10 seconds, for another 5 seconds. Switch it to Leclerc's onboard there. Don't go to a shot which is right next to the crowd, which is right next to the corner. Leclerc's back in, got a bit loose there. Hamilton's closing right up on these guys. 2.3 seconds. Hamilton's catching both of them, because he's got a tyre offset, which is what I'm saying. If Norris had a tyre offset to Antonelli, maybe he'd be able to get ahead of him, but he's just stuck behind him. Antonelli, I don't know if he's controlling the pace, because I think over the stint, Antonelli's got better pace than Norris. But at the start of the run, the McLaren's quicker. So I think if it's over a short distance, whoa! Big oversteer there from Norris. He's gonna get rid of a tear off, or is he? He took his hand off the wheel for a second, and I'm like, is he like, oh, that was a big one. Almost took myself out there. Leclerc's gonna get Piastri here. Leclerc's got Piastri. Leclerc's got Piastri. Surely. Into one. He's gonna go around the outside. Can he make it stick? Nope. He's gonna switch back. Is he gonna be able to get ahead? He's gonna keep his foot in it, and Leclerc is still side by side with him. They're still side by side coming into the bowl. Hugenholtz and Leclerc gets ahead. What a move. Unfortunately, though, that shows you need to be within 3/10 of the car ahead of you to get ahead over a massively long straight. Oh, Lord. I love how as soon as I stop recording, the race actually get good. Get good. Hamilton's now right behind Piastri. So Antonelli's 1.1 ahead of Norris, who is 8 seconds clear of Russell. Leclerc's 3.5 behind Russell. Piastri's now 1.5 behind Leclerc, and Hamilton is literally right on the bumper of Piastri coming into the chicane at the end of the second sector, start of the final sector. He's gonna get him after Ari Lundijk balked. He's so close to him. He'll get him on the straight. He's close enough. He's 2/10 behind him. Yeah, he's got him. He'll have him probably just after they get past the start-finish line. Let's see, right. There's the start-finish line. Whoa! That was a bit risky from Piastri there. Hamilton gets ahead. He covers him off, and that's the Ferraris into 4th and 5th now. Now, I'm trying to work out points here. 18 and 8 is 26. 4 and 5 is 22. Okay, so Ferrari are only losing 4 points to McLaren at the moment, which, if you asked them at the start of the weekend, would you take that? They would say yes. That was a fantastic move, though, from Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc's was even better. But the move of the race for me has to come from Nico Hülkenberg. The move around the outside where he just sticks it in was incredible. And Hülkenberg is now caught up to Alonso, who's now done half the race on a set of soft tyres, which is mad. Alonso's just... He's finally pitted. Alonso's pitted on lap 35. He's probably going to go into a set of mediums and go to the end. If I was Alonso, that's what I would do. Because then that means you've got decent tyres. You've got a tyre offset to the others. And Norris is still in DRS. Piastri's got no pace at the moment on those hards. He was doing much better on the mediums. It's so weird because you're looking at it. One of the McLarens is thriving on the hards. Norris is keeping up with Antonelli. He's got good pace. That move he did there was quite dangerous, is what Hamilton said. And I would agree with him. I hate to say it, but he's kind of got a point. Alonso's come out in 13th, by the way. And Gasly and Lindblad are off strategy with him. I think Alonso could be on... Lindblad's off strategy from him. Alonso could be on for 11th here. But... what happened to Russell? What happened to Norris? Norris has just lost a whole second there to Antonelli. He must have... It was the traffic. The traffic's just cost Norris so much time to Antonelli. That is... Well done, lap cars. Well done, lap cars. You've ruined the race. To be fair, Norris has caught back up again a little bit here. I'm convinced Antonelli is messing with us here. I'm gonna swear, guys. Apologies. I'm gonna swear. So if you're a child and you're watching this, please mute it for about 10 seconds. He is fucking with us. He's messing with us. He is deliberately keeping him within a second and ruining his tires. I'm convinced that's what he's doing. Norris is gonna be like, "Come on, blue flags!" Oh, and of course it's a Williams. It's not Sainz this time, but that's terrible from the Williams there. He really should have done better. But now he's got Alonso right behind him. Alonso's like, "Hi, I'm gonna get 12th place from you here. I'm on new hard tires, and I'm quicker than you." And he's right behind him. He's going to get past him in a second here. However, the positive for Norris is Antonelli's got to get to more lap traffic. So, this will be interesting. Will Antonelli be able to clear the lap traffic very quickly? It's Lindblad. Is there anything that could be done here by Lindblad to be a bit cheeky? No, he's... Oh, wait, no, he's not got... Yeah, he's getting out of the way now. he could have tried to help out. He could have tried to help out Lando, who's one of his idols, but eh. To be fair, Norris hasn't really lost any time. Norris has gained time from there. Alonso going around the outside of Albon into the chicane. Is he going to be able to make it stick? No, Albon's covered him off for now. But this is a good battle we've got going on here. Cameras, get on this battle with Alonso and Albon. They're battling for what will be 11th place because Lindblad needs to pit still. Alonso's going to the end, by the way. I don't know if Albon is, but Alonso is. He's going to the end on these tyres. Oh, for goodness sake, he had a terrible exit. That damn Honda power is so bad. Albon was 2/10 ahead of Alonso coming out of Arie Luyendyk, the first part of the Arie Luyendyk box, and by the start of the straight, he was 4/10. He was 4/10 ahead of him. Oh my god, that Aston Martin engine's so bad. That Honda engine's so bad, so bad. But anyway. Norris is still right behind Antonelli, but I can't see him making a move. Leclerc's closing up to Russell. He's closed up 6/10 since I last looked at that. But that was a fair few laps ago. We're over halfway through this race now. I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. That damn red flag, man. That damn red flag. But Piastri and Hamilton driving erratically noted. Yeah, that's a black and white flag for Piastri. That is a hands down black and white flag. Oh my goodness, the difference there between Alonso and Albon in traction was insane. Alonso got out of that corner so much better than Albon did. No further investigation for the driving erratically part. I'd have given him a black and white flag for that and gone, mate, that's a bit dodgy, that. And before anybody says I have British bias, I don't. I'm Scottish, okay? I don't have bias to any of these drivers, okay? The only driver I have bias to in F1, there's only 2 drivers I've got any bias towards, and that's Alex Dunn, 3 actually, Alex Dunn, Finn McLaughlin, and Rachel Robertson. But there we go, Alonso's up until 11th now. Is he gonna hunt down Gasly here? Yeah, there we go. Well done, stewards, you made the right call there. I said black and white flag, and he gets a black and white flag, that's the correct call. Good decision from the stewards there, because it's not a penalty, it's a black and white flag, because he's just driven a bit silly there. So Leclerc is now within DRS of Russell. Both of the Mercedes cars are under pressure here. Can we actually get a battle for the race lead and a battle for third? We're going to find out. There's about 9 seconds between Norris and Russell, though, so we've got 2 battles going on here. They're catching up to traffic. And I think that's Pierre Gasly that they're catching up to, although it might be Yuki Tsunoda, I'm not sure. But Nico Hülkenberg's having a great race, so is Yuki Tsunoda. Alonso's having a brilliant race. He started, where did he start again? What was it, 19th he started? 18th he started, and he's up until 11th. Aston Martin have pulled off a great strategy here so far. And it didn't work in Hungary very well. It's worked here, though, and he's gotten himself into 11th place. Although he has been helped by the fact that Bortoleto and Colapinto got penalties. So he'd probably be battling for 13th. And then you take into account Behrman and Verstappen being out. And maybe he'd be 14th. But still, you got to take advantage of what happens ahead of you like they did in Monaco. Leclerc is now within overtake of Russell. Norris is half a second behind Antonelli now. They're both trying to catch up to, I think it's the Racing Bull ahead of them. Is it? Oh no, it's Gasly. It is Gasly. Gasly's going to get in the way of both of them. And Gasly's done a great job there, because what he's done is he's given Norris a close enough gap that he can get overtake mode and that he's close to him. Antonelli was hindered, Norris wasn't. Oh, no, Norris! Oh, for goodness sake. As soon as you think he's caught up to him, he makes a mistake. Oh my god. So he had that oversteer moment at Arie Luyendyk box, and then he's at that. For goodness sake, Antonelli's pitting. Ho ho! Now, is he gonna come out in traffic? Is Piastri gonna be in traffic with him? That wasn't bad. That was not a bad stop there from Antonelli. Is he gonna come out in traffic? Russell's come in as well. And no, Antonelli's behind. Antonelli is just ahead of Piastri. Russell's behind him. So now the Mercedes cars are doing the aggressive strategy. They are being pragmatic here. They are taking the initiative. What Norris and Leclerc need to do now is go like hell and hope that the Merc gets held up. Okay, no, never mind. The Audi's let them through. Bortoletto's let them through. Right, so Norris is 10 seconds clear. Leclerc, Russell and Antonelli have both pitted. I don't know how much time Russell took in the pits, but when will Norris pit? When will Leclerc pit? And when will Hamilton pit? If I'm Hamilton, I go long again because it paid off. It's paid off for him here. He's right behind Leclerc, and he might. And I think Hamilton might try and go to the end here. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will. But this is what I like about races that have multiple stops. Yeah, if I'm Ferrari, I'm saying to Charles, get Lewis out. Let Lewis go because he's on fresh. He's on fresher tires. He's on better tires, and he's quicker than you at the moment. If he doesn't catch them, if he doesn't catch Russell and pass him before the end of the race, he'll let you through. That's what he should do, because then that gives an incentive to both of them. As it stands, Antonelli would be just about ahead of Norris at the moment. I don't think it's going to be that close. Norris is going to have a bad stop. You got to keep that in mind. Because if Norris is going to have a bad pit stop because all the cars have been slow in their pit stops here. All the pit crews have been slow. I don't know if it's because of the conditions of the weekend or not, but they're trying to get Leclerc out of the way for Hamilton, and it's not working. Russell's moving ahead of Leclerc at the moment. Yeah, he's still staying out. Hamilton's probably just thinking, "Oh my gosh, I've lost at least a second here, guys. Let me go, please." Ferrari, they were going to pit, but then Leclerc was like, "Nah, I'm staying out, man. I'm staying out. You can't dictate what I do. You don't know what's good for me. That's my opinion." Ah, Ferrari with a race strategy. He's probably saying to Leclerc, "Get out of my way. I can catch Russell, and you're on bad tires, and you've got no pace." Here comes Alonso that they're going to lap. They're telling Leclerc to box. Alonso gets out the way well there. Half a second the gap. Nah, Hamilton's not going to get him. Is Leclerc going to come in? Yes, he is. No, yes, he is. Leclerc's come in. Right, so Hamilton can now go and see what he can do. Now, where's Russell? Russell's coming out of Luyendyk Bocht right now. And it's a slow stop again. However, it wasn't that slow. It was 3.5, which isn't terrible, but it's not good. There's Russell there. Russell's cleared him already, and Russell's passed. That's the battle between Lindblad and Sainz. And Leclerc's 6 seconds behind at the moment, but he's got a tyre offset. He's got an advantage of a few laps. Russell's just set the fastest lap. And Hamilton, see, the way Ferrari were trying to handle that, they were trying to do it without doing it. They were trying to let Leclerc through, let Hamilton through without letting Hamilton through, because they don't want to upset Charles too much. See, what they should have just said was, Charles, let Lewis through. We'll put you in a couple laps, and if Lewis hasn't managed to pass the McLaren or the Mercedes by the end of this, hasn't been able to pass the Mercedes or the McLaren by the end of this race, he'll let you through again. That's what they did in Hungary in 2017, and it worked for Mercedes. Because, whilst he didn't catch either the Ferraris, Hamilton let Bottas through, and it almost cost him, it could have cost him the championship, but it didn't. Piastri's been told to pit. Norris and Hamilton staying out for now. Although we don't know if they're going to come in this time around. Well, Hamilton's not going to come in for a while yet, I don't think. To be fair, 2.9 seconds. I think a good pit stop today is 3 seconds, which is quite crazy to say, but it is. Piastri's behind Lawson now. Every other driver, get out of my way. I'm Liam Lawson. I'm Liam Lawson. You tell son I'm quicker. Here's my middle finger, Liam Lawson. Antonelli's saying he's got... I've seen this script before. Antonelli's saying, Bono, I have no grip. The next lap, he is going to set the fastest lap of the race. This is Mercedes tradition with drivers who have got Peter Bonington as their race engineer. Watch this. He's going to set fastest lap in a minute. I bet you right now, he's going to set fastest lap. He is going to set fastest lap. I swear now. He's going to set fastest lap. I swear to God. Tsunoda's coming to the pits. Wait a second. Oh my God. Alonso might get points here. Fernando, stay out for the rest of the race. And hope for a safety car. You're in the points at the moment. You've got quite a few seconds to Tsunoda. You're going to finish at least 11th here anyway. You're in... Alonso might be on for 9th here. Oh my God. Well, here comes Piastri trying to get past Lawson. And I don't think he's going to put up much of a fight because Lawson's just thinking, Lord, just get me to the end of this race. If you get me to the end of this race, I'll be happy. I'll have a good bit of points with the Red Bull. And I'll go back to playing my guitar and playing rubbish music on it. Guys, if you want me to show you what proper music is... oh, wait, no, I can't because I'll get claimed. I can't even do cover songs on here. Like, I'm not even joking. I played Echoes by Pink Floyd once on stream. And it got claimed. And I'm like, I'm doing a cover of it. How is... I'm literally paying tribute to you. Plus, it's not like I'm making money from this damn stream anyway. Anyway... Norris 11 seconds out of Hamilton. I mean, if I'm Hamilton, I just stay out, let Antonelli and Russell catch up to me, and just hold them up and try and help Leclerc and Norris out. Just because if I'm Hamilton, I'm like, I don't want Mercedes to win, man. Screw them. We want to see somebody else win. We want to see a Ferrari or a McLaren win. You know. But yeah, Tsunoda's on softs. Nah, he's not getting to the end on those. Only Fernando Alonso can do 27 laps on softs. And maybe a couple of other drivers. I'd be surprised if Yuki got to the end on those softs. Hulkenberg's done a good job on his softs though, so I have to say maybe there is a chance of that. But Norris is still 11 seconds clear of Hamilton. Hamilton's not really made many inroads on him. It'll be interesting to see what McLaren do here because... Are they gonna deploy the Hamilton strategy from today, which is come in a little bit later for their stop, come out and go for it, or are they gonna just try and stick out? No, they're gonna pit. So if I'm Norris, wait a second. I think he's gonna go into softs here. I think he's gonna go into softs. I think he's gonna come into soft tires here because there's 25 laps left. I think Norris is gonna pit for softs. Let's see if I'm right. No, he's gone into the set of hards. I think they should have gone into the softs there. That was an okay stop from him, but it wasn't great. Antonelli goes back into the lead. And there is Russell. Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say, that's not Russell. That's the Aston Martin. Okay, yeah, Norris is going to be at least like 4 or 5 seconds back from Antonelli now. Yeah, he's about 5 seconds back from him. He's got a lot of ground to make up, but he's got a tyre offset and quite a few laps of one as well, so he'll be able to gain a bit of time. Alonso's now up to 9th. I don't think he'll get up to 8th because Hulkenberg's got a pit stop over him. Hulkenberg, by the way, my driver of the day is Nico Hulkenberg at the moment. He has been absolutely outstanding. I don't know if you can vote for driver of the day yet, but I'm gonna vote. Leclerc is setting fastest lap. Okay, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. Right. Norris has got 7 laps fresher tires. That is quite a big amount of... That is quite big, I have to say. That's quite an offset. So this is going to be an interesting end to this race. Hamilton's staying out. If I'm Hamilton, I go to the end on these tires. Because he pitted with, what, 45 to go? I'd try and get to the end on those. personally, but he has lost quite a bit of time to Antonelli, so maybe not. I mean, if I was him, I'd go into softs if I've got a set, and if not mediums. But Hamilton's led quite a few laps here today, actually, so that's quite good for the tally. How many laps has Lewis Hamilton led in his Formula One career? I want to know that. It'll be like tens of thousands, probably. Hang on a second, let me have a look. It'll be tens of thousands of laps that he's led. I want to have a look at this. Where is it? There we go. Laps led 5,521. I thought it'd be about 10,000, but to be fair, that does make sense. As I said, guys, I'm not good at math. The rain never came, by the way. The rain still hasn't come. Hulkenberg's finally pitted. Alonso won't get ahead of him, though, unfortunately. But yeah, Antonelli still catching up to Hamilton. The top 10 is now Hamilton, Antonelli, Norris, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Tsunoda. Gasly and Tsunoda are battling for the last point at the moment. If these two battle too hard, Alonso's going to be able to keep clear of them. And Norris has set the fastest lap. Hamilton can help one of his old teams here. Or... Hamilton's saying, I gotta know, am I quicker or slower than Charles at the moment? Like, and you know, on the strategy, please tell me. And I'd say it's pretty even at the moment, because Hamilton's gonna come in on fresher tires, and he's gonna be much quicker than Leclerc, just like he was at the end of the last stint. However, this time they're both on hard tires. I don't think they were last time. I don't know he's there. They've got the live driver standings. Brother, Hamilton's not going to win the race. The only way he wins the race is if there's a safety car, like, right now, and even then, he would need an... Oh, Stroll's out the race. Stroll's retired, so I'm going to have to update that. I don't know what's happened with Stroll, but he's had a mechanical failure of sorts. There we go. Right. So now, Norris is closed on Antonelli, and he's closed right up on him. This is going to get interesting. I don't know if we're going to have a great race finish here, but we're going to see. Antonelli 1.5 seconds behind Hamilton now. Norris is closer to Antonelli than Hamilton. Than Antonelli is to Hamilton. That's mental. I think Norris can win this, you know. Whoa. Perhaps Antonelli saying he had no grip was actually true, and he wasn't doing what Lewis Hamilton always used to do and say, I got no grip, and then he set the fastest lap the next lap. Gasly's 4/10 behind Tsunoda now in the battle for the last point. They're closing up on Alonso a fair bit. They've closed up a second in the last 4 or 5 laps. Antonelli's saying he's got no rears. Here comes Norris in towards turn 1. He's a little bit too far back at the moment, but he's right there. And I think we might see a second win for Lando Norris this season and a second win at Zandvoort to join the list of multiple race winners around the track that includes Niki Lauda, Max Verstappen, Jim Clark, Jack Brabham, and Alberto Ascari. And also Louis Rosier, but that was a non-championship event. Anyway, Norris is right on his tail. He gained a second on him last lap. Hamilton is helping Norris here. Hamilton is really helping Lando Norris out here. And that's not necessarily the best idea for Ferrari, because, I mean, McLaren... I mean, they are closer to Mercedes than they are to McLaren, but still, McLaren look to be improving, and Mercedes look to be sort of still on the same level that Ferrari are. So, this is going to get very tasty, because if Norris can get another 10th on him... I think Antonelli's got overtake mode, which is really annoying, because that means that Hamilton's given him the power mode. Is Norris? Nah, he's not close enough at the moment. We're on lap 53. We've got 20 laps to go. This race has flown by, to be fair. Hamilton's just doing his race. He's staying out, and he's gonna try and I don't know. Is he gonna pit late and go into the softs? Is he gonna try and stay out the rest of the race? I don't know what he's gonna do. I called it. McLaren are saying that they think he's going to the end, and I called it. I said to Lewis, Lewis, stay out if I'm in your scenario. Norris is really struggling to get past Antonelli here, and they're coming up to the Cadillac. Oh my goodness, this is gonna get tasty. He's let through the Cadillac has let them go. I think it's Bottas. Now Norris is right on the tail of Antonelli. He's 4 tenths behind him. 3 tenths. He's closing. Hamilton, Antonelli, and Norris in a 3-way fight for this race lead. Hamilton's hanging on for dear life on those tires. I don't know if he's going to get to the end, but he's hanging on. Just like Alonso is now on the hards. Tsunoda's just closed up a ridiculous amount of time on him. But here he comes Norris. Here comes Norris. Antonelli's going to try and make the move on Hamilton because attack is the best form of defense. Through goes Norris around the outside. Is he going to be able to get past him? Yes, he does. Norris has got the race lead. Is he going to be able to get Hamilton into the bowl? No, he's not. He's still behind him coming into Hugenholtz's box. We head past the first sector of the track and Lando Norris is the race lead. And now Lewis Hamilton is the next target for him. And then he will have the race lead. Hamilton is just parking the bus, defending as best as he can. He needs to channel his inner Gilles Villeneuve 1981 Jarama to get this race win. He's probably not going to be able to. He might be able to hang on for a podium. But then again, I mean, Piastri's 16 seconds behind Leclerc, so at worst he's going to finish 5th here. But Hamilton's just hanging on. Norris is going to make the move here into the chicane. And is Hamilton going to fight it? No, he's not. Hamilton's not going to fight it. I think Hamilton's going to come in now. I think Hamilton's going to come in now because his tires are gone now. His tires are gone now. Here's me thinking that that Hamilton would be able to get to the... Oh, we got yellow flag. Ocon's out. Ocon's out. Ocon's out. Antonelli's gotten through. Hamilton is going to gain massively from this. Oh my goodness. So Ocon... There he is. Ocon's out. They've got to throw a VSC for that. Yep. Right. That's 4 retirements. Double DNF for Haas. Dreadful day for them. Hamilton has to pit here. He has to pit. If I'm Alonso, I come into the pits as well. If I'm Hamilton and Alonso, I come into the pits because they're on worn tyres. If they come into the pits, they are going to gain massively from this. And then they'll be able to hunt down the guys who are, at the in Hamilton's case, ahead, and then Alonso's case behind, and get ahead of them. Hamilton's got to pit. He's got to take this chance. They've got to pit him. They have to pit him. They have to. Yep, he's coming in. Hamilton's coming in. They're still trying to get Ocon's car clear. I don't know if they've finished it yet. But Hamilton's coming into the pits. I don't know if Alonso is going to be able to. But here comes Hamilton coming into the pits. And at the moment, he was a couple seconds back from them. So he's going to be, what, 13 or 14 seconds back from Norris and Antonelli, probably. Leclerc's coming in as well. Slow stop, but not terrible. So Leclerc's coming in too. The Ferraris are going to go aggressive here and go broke. Alonso stayed out. What? Why are you staying out for, Fernando? You're on worn hard tyres. Tsunoda and Gasly are closing on you. Then again, Tsunoda would have to do 28 laps in the softs. Piastri's coming as well. So Norris and Antonelli are now and Russell are now in defense mode. If the VSC ends in the next 30 seconds, They are in defense mode. Please, VSC, please end in the next few seconds. I don't want Norris and Antonelli getting a free pit stop here. Please end. Please end. Please end right now. Please end, 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 end. End! Please! Please end! We want to see the Ferraris catching up to these guys. They still haven't got off the track yet! They should have just brought out the full safety car, man. They should have just brought out the full safety car. VSC is a stupid idea when it comes to scenarios like these. Just bring out the full safety car. Oh my... I agreed with them on the Piastri decision and on a few of the others, but like, this is... Why wasn't that a full safety car? Anyway, Norris just casually pulls off a phenomenal move around there instead of Antonelli to get the race lead. And now he's behind Hamilton. He gets past him in the final sector of the track. Oh, he's at a slow stop. That was a slow stop. I am raging, by the way, that it's taken this long for the VSC to end, because now Antonelli's going to get a free pit stop. Russell stayed out. Now, how is this going to go for the soft runners? Because Russell and Norris are going to be fending for their lives. Alonso really should have pitted there, by the way. I don't know why he hasn't. Like, at worst, he would be 11th anyway. It's ending now. It's ending now, so Norris can't come in now. I mean, he's got 18 seconds. He might be able to pull off a pit stop, but even then, Russell's there. I think Mercedes have put Norris in a difficult position here, because what they've done is Russell stayed out, and effectively what they're doing is they're saying to him, you would need to get past our boy. Are you gonna stay out? And he's not going to. Are you gonna stay out? Or are you gonna come in? You know, Russell stayed out. So now we're gonna see, can Hamilton catch Antonelli and pass him? Because Antonelli's been struggling this whole race with pace. Hamilton's not far behind him. Gasly trying to get past Tsunoda, and he's finally cleared him. Gasly's finally cleared Tsunoda for 10th. However, they're going to have to get past Fernando Alonso, who, as we all know, is very good at making his car a boat. They do have to close 6 seconds in 14 laps, so they would need to gain... Let me think. Well, half a second a lap. Well, 5.5 is the gap now, and they've got 14 laps. They need to gain about 3/10 a lap, and they'll catch him. 3 to 4/10 a lap, and they'll do that. But now Hamilton is... just about working as a team here if Kimi's out the fight, is what Russell said. Russell's thinking constructors. Antonelli has to gain 12 or 13 seconds in 13 or 14 laps. So basically, Antonelli and Hamilton need to gain a second a lap on Norris to catch him before the end of the race, and hope that their softs don't run out. Because Hamilton's with him. He's 2 seconds behind him. He's not that far behind him. Hamilton might get a podium here, you know, from this race, which would be a massive result, considering Ferrari have not had the pace today of Mercedes or McLaren. So this is going to be fascinating to keep an eye out on. We're going to see if this is going to be the right call for Norris. Hamilton's on worn softs. He's on used softs. Leclerc's on new softs. So if Antonelli's quite a bit quicker... Antonelli's on slightly worn... No, he's not. Sorry, he's not. Leclerc pitted after he did. That's why. No, he didn't. Antonelli's on used softs as well. Both of them are on used softs, but Hamilton's are more used than Antonelli's are. So this will be an interesting last 14 laps of the race. We're going into lap 60 now, and Norris is still leading Russell and Antonelli. Hamilton and Leclerc is your top 5. Then Piastri, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Alonso, and Gasly's the rest of your top 10. Alonso's trying to hang it out to the end of the race on a set of hards, and he's got Gasly catching him up very, very heavily. Antonelli now lapping one of the Cadillacs again. 12.5 seconds is the gap, so he's closing a bit at the moment, but it's not... I don't know if it's enough at the moment. I don't know if this is going to be enough at the moment for Antonelli. Plus, catching is one thing and passing is another. He's got 13 laps to close 12.6 seconds. Or, sorry, 12.5 laps to close 12.6 seconds. So he's got to gain about a second, 1.1 seconds a lap, you'd say. 1.1 seconds a lap to get past. Hamilton trying to clear one of the Cadillacs. However, I will say credit to Cadillac because they're actually going to finish the race today at the moment, which is something that Haas haven't done. Alonso's just hanging on now. I'm looking at the gap between him and Gasly, and it's closing, and it's closing, and it's closing. Tsunoda's closing as well, but not as quickly. Alonso's going to have to completely park the bus on him and hope and pray. Vote driver of the day. Alright, Nico Hulkenberg. That's who I'm voting for. I'm voting Hulkenberg driver of the day. Because, I mean... Oh, City. City came back and are beating Bournemouth. Oh, well. Oh, well. At least they were down on them at one point. Anyway. We've only got 12 laps to go now. After this, 11 laps after this one. Is he closing up enough? He's not. Antonelli is not closing up enough on these guys. He isn't. He just isn't at the moment. He needs to gain more. So does Hamilton. I think McLaren might have made the right call here. However, I'm giving my vote to Hulkenberg at the moment, though, because that dude, he nearly crashed out on lap 1. I'm giving my driver of the day vote to Hulkenberg. He nearly crashed out on lap 1, and he's come back. Honestly, you could give driver of the day to, like, 4 drivers here. You could give it to Hulkenberg, you could give it to Alonso, and you could give it to Lawson or to Tsunoda for how good they've driven in cars that they, haven't driven much this season. Because, I mean, Yuki's driven I think Yuki's maybe driven the Red Bull a couple times, but not much, if at all. But Antonelli, he's still 12.4 behind. He's not closing. He isn't closing on Norris. Norris's pace has been good in this stint. This is going to be a battle for second here. And if I'm Hamilton, I'm just trying to keep up with Antonelli. And he has. He's not really lost much time to him in the last sort of 5 laps, really. Lawson under investigation for yellow flag infringement. Even if he gets a penalty, he's miles ahead of Hulkenberg anyway. He's miles ahead of Hulkenberg anyway, so Lawson's not got anything to worry about, even if he gets a 5-second penalty. He might get 1 penalty point for that, or maybe 2. That's the only thing he's got to really worry about, because I think he's, like 20 seconds ahead of Hulkenberg at least. He's not got anything to worry about. Leclerc's on brand new tyres. If only he was ahead of Hamilton. If he was ahead of Hamilton, maybe we'd have a different reflection of this race. However, we are where we are at the moment, and at the moment, it's looking as though Norris is going to hang on for this win because Antonelli's just not closing quick enough here. There's 10 laps left and a 12-second gap. It's not going to happen. Antonelli needs a miracle here. McLaren have made the right call. However, Norris has executed it brilliantly and has just been able to hang it on in there and keep it going, keep the gravy train going. And he's looking like he's going to take his second victory consecutively and end a 5-race run of different race winners. Which, I mean, it's been fun. 5 different winners in the last 5 races. That's quite fun. 2 Ferraris, 2 Mercedes and a McLaren. Quite good. But, yeah, this is a crucial moment. At the moment, Norris is going to pass Leclerc for 4th in the driver's standings. McLaren are going to pick up 33 points. Ferrari are going to pick up 22, so they're picking up 11 points on them. Mercedes aren't losing any points to McLaren at the moment, by the way. I just wanted to say that. However, Hamilton will close on Russell, and he'll probably pass him before the end, and then that means that McLaren will be gaining points on Mercedes. Because first and sixth is the same amount of points as second and third. Because of how the point system works. But there we go. Here we go. Battle for ninth is coming up. Gasly, with 9 laps to go, has got within a second pretty much of Alonso now. Let's see if there's anything he can do. Yeah, McLaren have found something today. I think maybe because of the different compounds, they've managed to find a bit of pace, but they've out-strategized as well. And I think Ferrari have gotten the best today that they could have. I think, because I think Hamilton's going to catch Russell, and I think he'll pass him. Ferrari have gotten the best today that they could have, to be honest. I can't see what more they could have done. And Hamilton might still be second in the championship. I mean, at the moment, he's not, but I think he'll pass Russell before the end. But I wonder, will Antonelli try and pass Russell, or will he try and get Russell to hold Hamilton up behind for constructors points, for drivers championship points? Maybe, I don't know. We don't know. We'll see. But Bottas is coming in to retire, so that's another one to add to the list. Here's me saying Cadillac would get the whole race distance. They almost did. 7 laps off of getting the whole race done, so that's another one added onto the list. We've now got 5 retirements from this race, which is probably the most we've had in quite a few races, to be fair. But Alonso's pulling away from Gasly now. Oh my goodness. Alonso's pulling away from Gasly. I don't know if it's because they had to go through traffic, but he's pulled away from him briefly there. I think Alonso might get points here, because Tsunoda now needs to gain half. They're saying they're going to invert the cars, so they're not going to do what I was thinking, and that was get Russell to hold Antonelli up, so Hamilton doesn't get ahead of either of them. They're not going to do that. Russell's just going to have to fend for himself against Hamilton, and hope and pray that the swap doesn't cost him too much time. Oh, I was wondering what that noise was. My phone alarm going off. I hope I don't get claimed for that. Fleetwood Mac, please don't claim. Right, yeah, there we go. So that's the Merc swap happened now. Antonelli up to second. Russell's going to have to fend for himself because he's got a fast Ferrari behind him of Lewis Hamilton. 1.3 seconds. Yeah, he's meat. He is meat. He is... Wallahi, he is done. Wallahi, he is done. Well, I mean, to be honest, mate, you probably would have lost a double podium anyway, because even if he had held... I mean, if they had pitted Russell, then it wouldn't happen. But I mean, the thing is they've got to do split strategies. And it worked for Norris because he had enough of a gap. It didn't work for Russell because he didn't have enough of a gap. Alonso's now hanging on for dear life from Gasly here. I think he's going to survive for a point, though, you know. Hulkenberg's going to get a heap, though. He's going to pass both the Williams cars in the standings, which is impressive. But, see, they're showing Alonso on the graphic, and it's like, we can't see what's happening with him and Gasly, you know. You do know that, right? Like, we're looking at Hamilton and Russell, which is fair enough, because, I mean, Hamilton's about to get past him. You won't get past him on this straight, because, I mean, he's too far back, but what's happened to the 2 Williams cars? Has something happened to the 2 Williams cars? Are they both pitted? What's happened? It was both the Williams cars have gone off there. Both of them went off there. What happened there? Both the Williams cars went off track. Both the Williams cars have gone off there. I don't know what's happened, but those two have done an Ocon and a Gasly, haven't they? Oh no. Well, imagine being a Williams fan, right? You start the year after finishing 5th in the constructors. You've had a great year, and you're thinking, "Oh, this year we might be able to challenge the big 4." And then we're halfway through the season, and you're behind Aston Martin, who had the worst car by miles at the preseason test. To be fair, Alonso is hanging on. There's 6 laps left. He's got 6 tenths to Gasly. He's just got to defend like a lion, to quote himself. But yeah, Hamilton, he's just not able to get past Russell at the moment. I thought he'd be able to make like work of it, but he's not. He's struggling. Hamilton's got a really good exit from the corner there. He's right with him. If I'm him, I'm sending it into the Hugenholz here. But nah, he's just a bit too far back. He's 2 tenths back, but he's right behind him. And Colapinto's gotten a time penalty. That's another penalty for Colapinto. 10 seconds. Okay, yeah, Lawson's fine then. If Lawson gets the same penalty, he's still 29 seconds, 30 seconds pretty much ahead of Hulkenberg. Fernando Alonso and Nico Hulkenberg today, by the way. Shout out to the 3 elder horsemen of the grid, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, and Alonso. They have been outstanding today. I'm trying to think, is there anybody? No, none of the other drivers on the grid are over 31, are they? Apart from Sainz. Sainz is 30. No, yeah, Sainz is 31 still. None of them are older than 31. These 3 are in their late 30s or early 40s, and the 3 of them are driving like they're youngsters again. It's phenomenal. Alonso's had a phenomenal performance here, and the strategy from Aston Martin has worked wonders. He's hanging on to 9th place ahead of Gasly, and I was thinking, oh, Yuki will surely get a point. Nah, not happening. Lawson is under investigation for the infringement. Hamilton, he's gonna go down the inside. Oh, he nearly makes contact with him. 4 laps to go. Hamilton's only got 4 more chances into turn 1. Unless he wants to try and pass him in the middle part of the lap, which is very difficult to do. This is going to get interesting in the final few laps. We've got a debris flag? Got a debris flag there, which is quite interesting. Anyway, Hamilton 3 tenths back now. And look who's joining us! Charles Leclerc, welcome to the party. The battle for the podium is becoming a 3-way fight here because Charles Leclerc has closed right up on them. And as I was saying earlier, Leclerc is on newer tyres than Hamilton. Both of them are on softs, but Leclerc was on fresh tyres. Hamilton was on worn. And this is the effect you're seeing. Hamilton's going to try and go around the outside of Russell in towards the chicane. And now heading up towards Arie Luyendyk Bocht. And he's right behind him. He's literally right behind him. He'll get him this lap. He has to. Surely. He's within 3 tenths. No, he's not. He's within 4. Oh, this is going to be tight. I don't know if he's going to get him here. Oh, for goodness sake! Why are we going to be a C? What are you doing, FIA? There can't even be that much debris on the track. As soon as he's about to pass him. Why? What? This is like Silverstone all over again. Lawson's got a penalty, but it doesn't matter. Alonso's going to be like, praise to you, thank you, FIA. Yeah, they definitely hit each other, didn't they? They definitely whacked into one another. Oh, for... Carlos, you've broken the golden rule of not hitting your teammate. That's not good. I bet the debrief after the race is going to be very interesting. VSC's ending. Yes, right. We only had about 30 seconds of it. Right, Hamilton's still got another 2 opportunities to get him here. They're waiting, and now they're going. Can Hamilton get right back towards him? Oh, who cares about a royal family member? Actually, no, he owns the track, actually. This guy owns the track. Okay, I'll let him off. He owns the track. Because he owns the track, he has a right to wave the flag, to be fair. I'll give him that. At least it's not some sort of celebrity who doesn't give a damn about F1. Right, last corner. Hamilton's not going to get him because he's 7 tenths back. If he was 4 tenths back, he might have got him. 3 tenths back, I should say. But he's only going to have 2 more goes at this now, as Lewis Hamilton. Sorry, 1 more go at it. Because they've just gone on to lap 71, sorry. But yeah, Alonso's hanging on. He might well get 2 points here and move ahead of Esteban Ocon in the standings. This would be mental. I think he would. Would he? Maybe. Aston Martin are about to get double what their points tally is this season. Yeah, he's got his side of overtake mode of him. So Alonso's on for points here. Yeah, Sainz and Albon under investigation. Yeah, that's not ended well. Albon's out the race now. He's retired. So we've got 6 retirements from this race, which is mental. I'm running out of room here on the text. But Hamilton, oh my goodness, yeah. Hamilton's right on the back of him again. Russell is hanging on for dear life. That VSC might save him. However, we don't know. Sainz has got a 10-second penalty, as has Colapinto and Liam Lawson. We're on the last lap now. Norris has driven brilliantly today. 3-8. Is it still? No, Hamilton's not going to get him. Hamilton isn't going to get him here. Hamilton will have to send it to get it. Nah, he's not. No, he's not going to get him. You'll have to send it into a corner that you don't go for a move in. I have to say, I do love the sight of F1 cars going over banking. That goes so hard. Hamilton's really struggling. Whoa! Hamilton's got an issue here. Russell's going to hang on to the podium. Norris is going to win. And he deserves it. He's been absolutely phenomenal today. Antonelli's going to get second. Russell, by the miracle that is a virtual safety car, is going to finish in third, unless Hamilton can do something about him in the final sector, which he won't, because I mean, he's half a second back from him. Come on. And then Leclerc's going to finish in fifth. Ferrari are going to look at today and go, we should have gotten something. But what a result from Lando Norris. Back-to-back wins, his second win at Zandvoort in his F1 career. A great result for him. Kimi Antonelli's going to come home second and continue his championship lead and extend it. George Russell's going to move back up to second in the standings, barely beating Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Oscar Piastri's going to finish in sixth, and Liam Lawson's going to get a brilliant 6 points for Red Bull. However, Fernando Alonso is going to get ninth here. Go on, Fernando! Where is he? Where is he? Well, there's Hulkenberg, right? Where is Fernando Alonso? We have to see him. We have to see our Lord and Savior, Fernando Alonso. Alonso's crossed the line! Oh no, this is about for 12th. Alonso's actually driving a car now that's not totally terrible. Tsunoda missing out on the points is a shame, though. I was hoping Yuki would get points, but he didn't. But he beat Lindblad, although that Lindblad did have a penalty, right enough. But what a race, guys. I'm going to head now, and I'm going to update these graphics for next stream. And you'll see me in a new place then, I believe, potentially. Maybe. We'll see. Because I'm moving into my new flat. So, thank you guys very much for watching. And, yeah, I'll see you all in the next stream, the next video, the next short, whenever it may be. I think it'll probably be tomorrow. And, yeah, what a result from Lando Norris. Podium for Kimi Antonelli. Third for George Russell. And then it was Lewis Hamilton fourth, Charles Leclerc fifth, Oscar Piastri sixth, Liam Lawson seventh. Eighth was Nico Hulkenberg. Phenomenal result from him. Fernando Alonso somehow getting a ninth. And finally, in 10th place was Pierre Gasly getting the last point. But I'm going to head